With the SP5 alone to sequence, what the fuck did you inject yourself with? pills, square pills. But what about these pills? Clinton voted for invasion of Iraq. She followed the lead on Epstein Island. Epstein was passed away by the government authorities. Biden fondles them too. Biden fondles them too. enjoy it.
Who do you think tried to take you out?
So I'm going to give you some big breaking news, right?
Baron is 18, he's
Yeah.
handsome, he's tall, he's rich.
He's got the whole ball.
He's unleashed in New York City. Are you sure you want to reverse Roe v. Wade now?
I'm going to make this country great again. It's not a great country right now.
It's always a great country.
See, that's
It's
why I
always a
disagree.
great country.
Okay, but I'm good with names, you know.
You are. Tampon Tim was good. Is
The
that?
problem with Tampon Tim, it's hard to say. There are some, like Comrade Kamala. It's
Yeah.
a little hard to say. She's not bad, but when you put the names together, it's a little, you got to be able to pume.
Okay, so tell me this. So tell me this situation. Okay, Baron is 18.
Our country. Look at Maxine Waters. How dare that, you know, they've challenged Stacey Abrams.
Yeah.
Almost all of the Democrats challenged.
Yeah.
But when we challenge, they say he's a threat to democracy.
Yeah.
These are con artists, and they're very bad for our country.
Yeah.
So I'm going to weed them out. I'm going to weed them out. I'll do it in honor of you.
Okay, so tell me this. So tell me this situation. Okay, Baron is 18. He's
Yeah.
handsome. He's tall.
Yeah.
He's rich.
He's got the whole ball.
He's
that kid.
unleashed in New York City.
It's-
Are you sure you want to reverse Roe v. Wade now? I mean, maybe
Yeah.
give him a few years, you know.
Well, you
get
know,
his-
it's up to the states now. It's up to the states
Yeah.
because I believe in exceptions and all of the different
Yes.
things.
You've been vocal about that.
I've been very
Would
well.
you try to
no,
influence-
I mean, I think a lot of people agree with me.
Yeah.
You know, it was very, very strong, very, very tough. And Republicans were going to lose a lot of elections having to do with a lot of other things, too, because there are many issues. We have the border, we have
Yeah.
this, we have wars, we have everything.
Yeah.
And Roe v. Wade was always about getting it back to the states.
Yeah.
And then people started talking about the number of weeks and this, that, all these. But nobody wanted, no legal scholar, no Democrat, no Republican, liberal, conservative, nobody wanted it in the federal government. It shouldn't be in the federal government. And the legal scholars, it was abhorrent. They didn't want it, and they didn't want it in the federal government.
Now-
And it was in the federal government.
I know you said- sorry.
What we did is, we moved it back to the states and a vote of the people. And now they're voting. Ohio voted a very liberal, you know, Ohio, I won Ohio by a lot, but they voted, and it's up to them.
Yeah.
Okay, I do believe in exceptions, life of the mother, and incest.
Right.
If your daughter's raped by somebody,
Yeah.
let's say he's from a prison someplace and he's
Yeah.
killed people and everything else. Yeah, absolutely, you have to be able to do.
Yeah.
There are some people, and I think that group is smaller and smaller when they realize what's going on, but there are some people that under no circumstances can you do. I don't happen to agree. Ronald Reagan didn't agree. But what has happened is it's now back in the states where it belongs. And the states are moving along and they're approving things.
So-
Some conservative and some liberal.
There are some places. My wife and I had a baby through IVF, and you've been very supportive of IVF.
I was totally.
I really love that. You said that
Totally
you guys were going to
right
pay
from
for
the
it,
beginning.
and I would love to get the refund or whatever once that happens from
Yeah.
the government.
But I actually said, we want babies in our
And we
country.
do.
Yeah.
But
So now
there are some people using that reversal of Roe v. Wade to kind of attack the legality of IVF. And to me, it's like, that's heartbreaking.
These are crooked politicians. These are politicians. And now I'll give you an example. I came out, when it first came up, and it started in Alabama where a judge ruled that you couldn't do IVF, and all clinics all over Alabama was going to shut down, were going to be shut down. And I wasn't an expert on IVF, but I have common sense. You know, we're the party of common sense.
Yeah.
And some women called me, and actually Katie Britt called me, the senator from Alabama, who's really a young, good politician, smart, great husband, who was a football player, great family. She called me up, she said, sir, women have come to me and almost attacked me, and they're my best friends, that the judge shut down IVF. He's a very, conservative judge, and he shut down IVF. And I said, let's explain it, tell me. And she told me, I said, no, it's a great thing. It's helping women have babies. And she didn't know her friends were all going through IVF.
It's
You know,
so much
she
more
didn't know it.
common than people realize.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but they don't talk about it. You know, let's say somebody's,
People are
I mean,
quite
I understand.
uncomfortable,
Nobody,
yeah.
I never had big discussions. I know this. If you're a woman and you're going through, you're not going to be telling Katie Britt, and you're not going to
Yeah.
be telling your friends, hey, I'm going through IVF.
Yeah.
Some will, and some won't.
Yeah.
But she didn't know anything about her friends, and they were good friends of hers. She said, they're literally attacking me. I
Yeah.
said, well, what is it? After about 5 minutes, I'm a quick study, I said, that's a great thing. And I came out within 45 minutes of the decision. I came out strongly in favor on behalf of the Republican Party. And I have calls from senators saying, thank you, sir, you saved my political career.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they might have come out, you know.
Save their family too.
But here's what does happen, which is really, we get calls that just the other day, that this total lying politician that's running, that ruined San Francisco, she destroyed San Francisco with her very liberal policies, and she destroyed the state
Gavin
of
Newsom?
No, it's her. But Gavin Newsom, I call him Gavin Newscum. Gavin Newsom.
That's a good one.
No, he's
Good.
a terrible. He's a terrible.
That was Pume.
Yeah, yeah.
No, no.
That was Pume.
Gavin is, he doesn't like that, but he is.
Good hair though.
Gavin, he probably does. Yeah.
Yeah, he is nice.
I don't know. Yours?
Yeah, yeah.
Good. I don't know.
Pretty good.
Don't,
Well,
don't,
something.
don't take your hat off. Because you never know. Sometimes the guy will take his hat off. He has good hair. I say, boy, you are. Right? And usually it's bald. No, 95%. There's always a reason. You know, usually a reason, and that's okay too. But what I do, I get a call, and they say that she, Kamala, said that I'm against IVF, okay, that I'm against it. They know it's untrue. But all of the lies,
Positioning in a
so
way.
many different
Yeah.
things. The bloodbath, that was about the auto industry, but the word is a tough word. China's going to take all our auto business if we go all electric and all this stuff. And
Yeah.
the head of the union, I said, is a fool. He sold the union down. I'm doing great with it. You notice where the Teamsters like me, and they all like me. The workers like me because I'm going to.
Seems to be that way.
Yeah, it
always,
seems to be. Even unions that have never been with a Republican before are endorsing me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. The Teamsters voted 61% in favor of Trump. Think of that. The I'll tell you, the FBI would be in favor. Almost everybody. I think almost everybody would be in favor.
Yeah.
But they lie, and they say, and they know it's a lie. Charlottesville. The Charlottesville statement was perfect. If they take the next sentence that I gave, I made a statement on it. It was a perfect statement. And if you take, but they never take the next sentence. They cut it off.
And then there's no
Even the other one,
accountability.
peacefully and patriotically. In my speech,
Yeah.
I talked about peacefully and patriotically. They never show that. They never talk about it. To show you how dishonest they are, the J6 committee, I call it the unselect, you know, they call it the select committee. I call it the unselect committee of political hacks and thugs. They never talk about my speech
Yeah.
because it was a good speech. It was a, patriotic speech.
Are you numb to this now, or
No, I
does
never
it
get
still
numb.
bother
No,
you?
it bothers me. I'll tell you what bothers me. Kamala the other day said he is against IVF, and everybody knows that that's false.
Yeah.
When I came out, people were a little surprised actually because in theory, but I came out strongly in favor of IVF. She has an add-on that I'm against IVF. She knows it's untrue. She has an add-on that bloodbath. Bloodbath means like blood, and that's not what I was talking about. The automobile industry. It's going to be a bloodbath in the automobile. We're going to lose all our business.
Yeah.
That's what it's referring to. When they do things, and they do a lot, but I always refer them back to the simplicity of McDonald's. She lied about McDonald's. She lied about many things, and she's a liar. There should be some kind of a rule. When they know it's a lie, you can't do a commercial on it. But this is a thing that's going to end in 29 days, so they can say what they want. I have a hard time doing it to them because I'm basically a truthful person. But frankly, she's given me so much ammunition. I don't really have to. I mean, she's a radical left lunatic who will destroy our nation. Other than that. But she will destroy our nation. So when you take a look at it, And I think that, just getting back to your original thought on the abortion, having it back in the States, the people are now voting on it, and we're going to put an end to a 52-year ordeal. This has been going on for 52 years.
Yeah.
It's back with the states, and it's a vote of the people.
Yeah.
And that's where everybody wanted it to be. And I think that issue is largely quelled because of that.
You've said, like, Arizona, you think went a little bit too far. If you feel a state goes a little bit too far, will you use a little influence and say, hey, maybe Benin says we can make
I
exceptions?
would. Oh, no, I won't back it. I won't
Okay.
back it. I think
Okay. I think that's important for moderates to hear. That's why I want to give you the
I won't
opportunity to
back
say
it.
that.
No, some
Especially
states
for
say no
women to
weeks.
hear.
Yeah.
But they're all changing because the people in the state won't stand for that. There are some states that say, under no circumstances, you have a daughter and she's by the worst, most violent criminal in the country, and you cannot get, her.
Yeah.
You cannot take
She
her
has to live with
and
that for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
she got to live with this. And, the father is a monster. He's from an insane asylum because he killed 50 people.
Yeah.
And you're going to have that baby?
Yeah.
And I can't
You have to
believe...
have empathy for that.
No,
Yeah,
no,
you
I
have to.
can't
Yeah.
believe that people are forced to do that.
Yes.
And you have a tiny, right now,
Yeah.
it used to be a much bigger segment.
Yeah.
No, I think I've done a good job in a lot of ways because I've convinced people that you just can't do that.
No, that's important.
It's always been complex, it's always been tough, but we've come a long way with that issue. But just in a nutshell, bringing it back to the states and giving a vote of the people is where they wanted it 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. And then they got a little complex. They talked about the length and the number of
But
weeks.
with protections.
Yeah.
With protections for women
Yeah,
and
to me, you have to. Ronald Reagan, a long time ago, was with the same 3 protections.
Yeah.
He said he wanted, for incest and the life of the mother, and that was a long time ago.
Okay, you have a very busy day. Before you go, what would you like your legacy to be, and what do you think it will be?
So,
And thank you very much for taking
two
the time.
very different questions, actually, I think. But
What would you like it to be?
I took over a country that was very troubled. This country was broken up and tremendous dissension. And Barack Obama started it. And if you take a look, it was very, very badly broken. And I think now with Biden, let's forget her for a second, but with Biden and her, part of it, big part of it, but with Biden, there's tremendous dissension. The country is a broken up mess.
Okay, so tell me this. So tell me this situation. Okay, Barron is 18. He's
Yeah.
handsome. He's tall.
Yeah.
He's rich.
He's got the whole ball.
He's unleashed in New York City.
It's,
Are you sure you want to reverse Roe v. Wade now? I mean, maybe
Yeah.
give him a few years,
well,
get
it's
his-
up to the states now. It's up to the states
Yeah.
because I believe in exceptions and all of the different
Yes.
things.
You've been vocal about that.
I've been very
Would you
well.
try to
no,
influence-
I think a lot of people agree with me.
Yeah.
It was very, very strong, very, very tough. And Republicans were going to lose a lot of elections having to do with a lot of other things, too, because there are many issues. We have the border, we have
Yeah.
this, we have wars, we have everything.
Yeah.
And Roe v. Wade was always about getting it back to the states.
Yeah.
And then people started talking about the number of weeks and this, that, all these. But nobody wanted, no legal scholar, no Democrat.
Yo, what is up, guys? As I'm back with some unreleased, fresh street footage. I promised you guys a street party.
In Asia, in Cambodia, hidden in the tropical jungle, is the largest religious structure ever built. The majestic temple complex of Angkor Wat.
Yo, what up, brother?
A sprawling
It's
structure
crazy.
1,500
Do you
meters
agree with
long
me?
and
I think he's
1,300
crazy,
meters
brother. I think
wide, covering
he's like
160 hectares,
he could lose the
larger than
election because of
200
that.
football fields.
50%.
Its 200-meter wide moat
I think over
surrounds
50% of the
an
voters are women.
sanctuary.
Like,
Five gigantic towers, the tallest
Man,
of which soars 6
I don't know how he
meters,
can win this. I
the
really
height
don't.
Of a 25-story building.
Like, he's just so ignorant, man.
12th century builders
As a
finished
business
the
move,
monument
like, it doesn't make
in
any
just
sense.
4 decades, sparking the fascination of archaeologists today.
Anyways, thanks for listening. Yeah, what up,
And
bro?
we ask ourselves, how did they create all of this?
Yes, yeah, you know, like, it's crazy.
Illuminated
Like, he's
by
not
a
even
new
listening
that is lifting the
to
veil on the greatest mysteries of its
50%
construction.
plus
What
of the.
was the true size of this site in the Middle Ages?
Okay,
And
look,
why
okay,
did
yeah,
it
look,
decline
let's talk
in the
honestly.
15th
How
century?
many women
LiDAR is one of this suite of new
support
technologies that are changing the way that we look at the past.
giving
It's a
abortion
way-
rights
it's a
to the
revelation
state
for
to
us.
decide?
Today, experts are
Like, it
using
can't be
science and
above
technology
5%.
to
It can't.
unlock the secrets of
Like,
Angkor
there
Wat,
might be like
revealing
5%
details
extremists.
invisible
Like,
to the
who?
naked eye.
But this is a handheld
Like,
3D scanner. What's incredible is that we have a
Like,
perfect
Man.
virtual model of this.
And he didn't even have to fucking talk about the Roe v. Wade. He didn't even have to declare it, but he declared it. Like, why? I feel like they want him to lose. Like, I feel like it's some sort of weird 5D chess that they want him to lose because, like, he's gone insane. He can't be that dumb.
In just a few decades,
Like, he can't be that dumb.
10 million block
You know, Joe?
has been used
Yeah.
on Angkor Wat.
Sometimes I wonder if it was
Try
humans who
TNT, it
built
really
this,
opened your
and yet it was humans.
how did the builders supply this site with stone? What secrets explain how this 1,000-year-old structure remains standing?
The mode of the temple, it's built in the concept. The sand, when it's humid, it can become strong, like the stone.
Why was this monumental temple built in the first place? And what remains to be discovered of the legendary city that surrounds it?
We see this mound in many areas, but we don't know exactly what it is.
History, science.
He had to correct Joy numerous times when Joe,
exposed as never
when he asked him a
before.
question.
The temple of Angkor Wat finally reveals itself on every scale. In Southeast
Oh,
Asia,
eating bugs and spiders? Come on, man.
in the north of
Come
the
on, bro.
country, is an
What
area
the
known
fuck?
as
AI is
Angkor.
going crazy,
It's a
bros.
site known all
AI is
over
going
the world
crazy.
Thanks to the
AI
unique
is
remains
unhinged,
of the
man.
Khmer Empire.
Still
More
got to
than
listen
100
to him.
temples, dating
Joe, I
from the
mean.
9th to 15th centuries, are hidden amongst 400 square kilometers of tropical forest. An area 4 times larger than the city of Paris. These legendary ruins are visited by 2.5 million people every year, who all want to explore one special temple, Angkor Wat. It's the largest religious monument on the planet, dedicated to the god Vishnu and built in just a few decades.
I think Angkor Wat probably constructed during the life of the King Suryavarman II from approximately 1113 to 1150. It's about 37 years. So it's amazing, right?
An extraordinary feat, because every part of this superstructure was built in stone, a very heavy and labor-intensive material to transport and use. Examining the stones on a microscopic scale reveals that this is a sedimentary rock, sandstone.
1 cube meter, it's about 1 ton. So it's very heavy.
The material choice raises a mystery. Examining the site on a satellite scale shows that the nearest quarries are many kilometers from Angkor.
Some of them came from 30, 40, 50 kilometers away from the temples themselves. The blocks of stone are very, very heavy, and literally millions of these blocks had to be transported from these distant quarries to the sites of the temples.
We know roughly that about 10 million blocks.
Yeah, man. Trump might lose this election, bro.
How did Khmer builders transport millions of tons of sandstone in such a short space of time?
Okay,
To solve
you
this
want to talk
mystery,
like statistics?
Archaeologists today rely on the most advanced
I
technology
think
at their disposal to hunt for clues on a
40,
satellite scale.
I think it's like, okay, let's Google it. I'm going to Google it. I'm not going to say a word. I'm going to Google it, and I'm going to let it, that's going to be the objective. I'm not going to say a word. Yo, LOL. I think he knows what stat I'm Googling. Yo, what up, Christian? How are you, brother?
A service that collects and
Oh, here we go. You know what's coming, dudes.
enriched
Objective,
and used by the
objective.
global view of satellite
What?
images.
Percentage of women
The zone
in the
of Angkor is
United
very big,
States
very huge. And when we
have
this kind
had
of satellite data,
and
we can learn more how the ancient people organized.
oh my god, they fucking scrub this data from the internet? Why? Come on, Google. What the fuck?
When we zoom into the Angkor Wat, you can see the
No,
structure.
the guys, they
temple
scrubbed
here,
it.
the
What?
moat, and then another example.
can't
you
believe
can
they
see the
scrubbed it.
Angkor
That's
Thom
fucked.
as well.
Examining the site on a satellite scale exposes
What am I doing here?
Angkor Wat's location
What's the other
amongst a
Yandex?
vast expanse of ruins. To the north, the royal city of Angkor Thom is surrounded
What
by a giant square moat.
percentage
A
of
little further
women
west,
in the United
satellite images
States
reveal a huge rectangular
have
area 8 kilometers long,
had
more than 2
and
kilometers wide.
We can
portion
see
statistics
clearly from the satellite the horizon.
2024.
It's a reservoir that built by human in their time, built by hand, and can storage about 56 million
Portion
cubic
rates.
Satellite images
Oh,
also reveal traces
this
of
might be a
other
pro-life
reservoirs, now
website.
dried
I'm
up,
sorry if it
but
is.
all once connected
But I
to
don't know the
Angkor Wat
stats.
by a series of canals.
One of the more interesting features that we see about Angkor is its hydraulic network. Its
Portion
network
rates
of
in the
canals
United
and
States.
reservoirs, which has been the focus
Okay,
of a lot
there's
of debate,
approximately
research and a lot of scholarship in the last few decades.
500,000
There are many
to
theories
750,000
about what these
abortions
reservoirs and canals represent.
every year.
A sophisticated irrigation system for the population, or for sacred water to symbolically bless the city. But now another idea has been suggested, and it could help solve the mystery of how stone was transported to Angkor Wat.
I guess
The stone quarry size.
yeah, the stats are a little
Stone
more
quarry
difficult
site
to
here.
determine
There
who
is
has
one
had an
ancient road
abortion
that connect from
in the
here.
past. But
See
dude,
the
it's
straight
like,
line like this, close to that
bro,
area.
it's a lot of fucking people.
The latest scientific research makes it possible to visualize how the hydraulic network of Angkor was once connected to the quarries. At the foot of the sandstone source, a network of canals and rivers stretches some 40 kilometers all the way to the center of the city, a route for efficiently transporting millions of tons of sandstone.
By connecting the quarries to the central area of Angkor with canals, and the blocks would be presumably floated down the canals, perhaps on rafts made of bamboo. So it was a giant undertaking.
They didn't
Thanks to their
post the
ingenuity,
exact percentage,
Khmer
but
builders
it's something
supplied
like
the site with
40%
vast
of women.
quantities of sandstone.
Again, I don't know. I'm not going to say it because I couldn't find it. I'm not going to say it.
But another question remains. Examining the
A lot of
material
fucking
on
people
a
have
microscopic
abortions.
scale exposes that this sedimentary
It's a
rock
sad
is
thing.
composed of 40%
But it's
feldspar
freedom.
and almost 50%
I'm for like
quartz.
freedom.
These are very hard minerals.
I'm also against the
which makes
state
stone
defining
difficult
any
to
right
shape.
of a human at all. And that's
So
why
how
we have
did
to go
workers
against
building
fucking.
these sandstone walls carve the stones
So I
quickly.
was driving. Yo, what up? No worries, bro. How are you? I'm good. I'm good, Sandoval. How are you, man? Christian, I'm good.
Archaeologist
Trump
Janelle
say?
Abuato is confronted with the same problem on a
Sure, I'll play
daily
it again.
basis. For several
The
years, she
comedian?
has been supervising the restoration of a temple built a few
I
kilometers
see you.
from
I'm
Angkor Wat.
I'm here, brother. I appreciate that, man. But I'm here, my dude.
We're monuments
Appreciate
Fund is
appreciate you
conducting a
know.
restoration project that
People
connects
pass away all the time, and I appreciate being positive and
this
nice.
for us is a great opportunity to get to see
How many
more
per
in
month?
detail about how
I
the
don't know.
temple was built.
Do you ever do that? Yo, what up, Sailor Curse?
From sandstone.
I don't know, I thought it was pretty funny.
30 years.
It was really racist, though.
Approximately in a day.
Is he not Spanish? If he's not Spanish, then that was like extremely racist. I thought he was a Spanish guy. I didn't know his name was Hinchcliffe. I thought he was fucking like Raul Mendez or something. I'm sorry, that was really racist. It's not racist. I'm not racist. Yo, bros. I said Mendez because of what's his name? The other Spanish guy. Alright, I'm just gonna fucking stop talking. I kind of want to watch it, but I don't want to get in trouble. Acting like that is okay. Yeah, true. Was not the place for that. You think they pre-read the scripts? Maybe they did. We should go to Key West. I'll be honest, my dude. I'm not really a big that road scares me, man. That 2-lane fucking road, that thing terrifies me. Abortion doctor position, it happens so much. There could be an abortion doctor position. Yeah. Oh, it's insane. Like it's so crazy. Like it's crazy. Like they're crazy people. For not even like fucking. What does his wife think about that? Didn't his wife come out and say that she's fucking pro-abortion? Like, what is going on? The microphone sounds choppy. Really? Are you sure, my friend? Are you sure? I'm not listening to myself. I don't wear headphones, so I can't tell if it's choppy or not. What are we looking for? Oh yeah, what Trump said.
Who do you think tried to take you out?
So I'm going to give you some big breaking news, right?
Barron is 8.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me this. So tell me this situation. Okay, Barron is 18. He's handsome. He's tall.
Yeah.
He's rich.
He's got the whole ball game.
He's unleashed in New York City. Are you sure you want to reverse Roe v.
Yes.
Wade now?
Thank you.
I mean, maybe give him a few years, you know.
Well,
get
you know,
his...
it's up to the states now. It's up to the states
Yeah.
because I believe in exceptions.
How
in all
about
of
now?
the different things.
You've been
Yes, it
vocal
looks
about
better.
that.
I've been very
Would
well.
you try to influence?
I think.
Thank you. Oh my god, now my
I think a
fucking
lot of
camera's
people
fucking
agree
up.
with me. You know, it was very, very strong, very, very tough. And Republicans were going to
Thank you,
lose
bro.
a
Thank you,
lot of
Christian. I
elections
appreciate that, my
having
dude.
to
I'm
do with a
gonna
lot of
have to
other
fucking
things
fix
too,
my
because there
camera
are
too.
many
One sec.
issues. We have the border, we have this, we have wars, we have everything.
Yeah.
And Roe v. Wade was always about getting it back to the states.
Yeah.
And then people started talking about the number of weeks and this, that, all these. But nobody wanted, no legal scholar, no Democrat, no Republican, liberal, conservative, nobody wanted it in the federal government. It shouldn't be in the federal government. And the legal
Totally,
scholars,
man.
it was abhorrent. They didn't want it, and they didn't want it in the federal government.
Now-
And it was in the federal government.
I know
So
you said- sorry.
What we did is, we moved it back to the states and a vote of the people. And now they're voting. Ohio
Thanks for being here.
voted.
Thanks for being
They
here for the
very
discussion.
liberal. You know, Ohio, I won Ohio by a lot. But they voted, and it's up to them.
Yeah.
Okay, I do believe in exceptions. Life of the mother and incest.
Right.
If your daughter's raped by somebody, and
Yeah.
let's say he's from a prison someplace and he's
Yeah.
killed people and everything else, yeah, absolutely, you have to be able to do.
Yeah.
There are some people, and I think that group is smaller and smaller when they realize what's going on, but there are some people that under no circumstances can you do. I don't happen to agree. Ronald Reagan didn't agree. But what has happened is it's now back in the states where it belongs. And the states are moving along and they're approving things.
So-
Some conservative and some liberal.
There's a there are some places. My wife and I had a baby through IVF, and you've been very supportive of IVF.
I was totally.
I really love that. You said that
Totally.
you guys were going to
Right
pay
from
for
the
it,
beginning.
and I would love to get the refund or whatever once that happens from the government.
But I actually said, we want babies in our
And we
country.
do.
Yeah.
But
So now
there are some people using that reversal of Roe v. Wade to kind of attack the legality of IVF. And to me, it's like, that's heartbreaking.
These are crooked politicians. These are politicians. Now, I'll give you an example. I came out, when it first came up, and it started in Alabama, where a judge ruled that you couldn't do IVF, and all clinics all over Alabama was going to shut down, were going to be shut down. And I wasn't an expert on IVF, but I have common sense. You know, we're the party of common sense.
Yeah.
And some women called me, and actually Katie Britt called me, the senator from Alabama, who's really a young, good politician, smart, great husband, who was a football player, great family. She called me up, she said, sir, women have come to me and almost attacked me, and they're my best friends, that the judge shut down IVF. He's a very, conservative judge, and he shut down IVF. And I said, let's explain it, tell me. And she told me, I said, no, it's a great thing. It's helping women have babies. And she didn't know her friends were all going through IVF.
It's so much more common than people realize.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but they don't talk about it. Let's say somebody's
People
doing.
are
I
quite
understand.
uncomfortable,
I never had big discussions. I know this. If you're a woman and you're going through, you're not going to be telling Katie Britt, and you're not going to be telling your friends, hey, I'm going through IVF.
Yeah.
Some will, and some won't.
Yeah.
But she didn't know anything about her friends, and they were good friends of hers. She said, they're literally attacking me. I
Yeah.
said, well, what is it? After about 5 minutes, I'm a quick study, I said, that's a great thing. And I came out, within 45 minutes of the decision, I came out strongly in favor on behalf of the Republican Party. And I have calls from senators saying, thank you, sir, you saved my political career.
Yeah.
Because they might have come out,
Save their family, too.
But here's what does happen, which is really, we get calls that just the other day, that this total lying politician that's running, that ruined San Francisco, she destroyed San Francisco with her very liberal policies, and she destroyed the
Gavin
state of
Newsom?
No, it's her. But Gavin Newsom, I call him Gavin Newscum. Gavin Newscum.
That's a good one.
No, he's
That's
a
good.
terrible. He's a terrible.
That was Pume.
No, no.
That was Pume.
He doesn't like that. But he is.
Good hair, though.
Gavin, he probably does, yeah.
Yeah, he is
I
nice.
don't know. You
Yes. Yeah.
So good, I don't know.
Pretty good.
Don't,
Well
don't,
settled.
don't take your hat off. You never know. Sometimes the guy will take his hat off. He has good hair. I say, boy, you are. And usually it's bald. No, 95%. There's always a reason. Usually a reason, and that's okay too. But what I do, I get a call, and they say that Kamala, said that I'm against IVF, okay, that I'm against it. They know it's untrue. But all of the lies,
Positioning in a
so
way.
many different things. The bloodbath, that was about the auto industry, but the word is a tough word. China's going to take all our auto business if we go all electric and all this stuff. And the head of the union, I said, is a fool. He sold the union down. I'm doing great with it. You notice where the Teamsters like me, and they all like me. The workers like me because I'm going to.
It seems to be that way.
Yeah, it
always,
seems to be. Even unions that have never been with a Republican before are endorsing me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. The Teamsters voted 61% in favor of Trump. Think of that. I'll tell you, the FBI would be in favor. Almost everybody. I think almost everybody would be in favor.
Yeah.
But they lie, and they say, and they know it's a lie. Charlottesville. The Charlottesville statement was perfect. If they take the next sentence that I gave, I made a statement on it. It was a perfect statement. And if you take, but they never take the next sentence. They cut it off.
And then there's no
Even the other one,
accountability.
peacefully and patriotically. In my speech,
Yeah.
I talked
5
about
clients
peacefully
a
and
day.
patriotically. They never show that.
That's his math.
They never talk about it.
5
To show you
clients a
how
day.
dishonest they are.
$40.
The J6 committee,
$40
I
per
call it the
day.
unselect, they call it the select committee. I call it the unselect committee of political hacks and thugs.
40
$40 They never talk about my speech
Yeah.
because it was a good speech. It was a, patriotic speech.
Are you numb to this now, or
No, I
does
never
it
get
still
numb.
bother you?
No, it bothers me. I'll tell you what bothers me. Kamala the other day said he's
Sure.
against IVF, and
For
everybody
each
knows
client.
that's false.
Yeah.
When I came out, people were a little
Yeah,
surprised.
$40. Yeah, but $40 a day from each client. That's
I
so
came out
much money.
strongly in favor of IVF.
That's like
She has an add-on that I'm
it's like more than
against
people
IVF.
spend on food
She
per
knows it's
day.
untrue. She has an add-on that bloodbath
For
means
fucking
blood is-
some
that's not
fucking
what
40-year-old
it's about.
shoveling snow.
The automobile industry. It's going to be a bloodbath in the automobile. We're going to lose all our business.
Yeah.
That's what it's referring to. When they do things, and they do a lot, but I always refer them back to the simplicity of McDonald's. She lied about McDonald's. She lied about many things. And she's a liar. There should be some kind of a rule.
No,
when
man,
they
I'm
know
gonna.
it's
I think
a
I'm just
lie,
gonna be
you
a
can't do
neat,
a
guys.
commercial on it. But this is a thing that's going to end in 29 days, so they
Holy
can say what they
shit.
want. I have a hard time doing it.
$40. That's like more than a
Because of
food,
reason,
man. That's like more than a food for like the family for the entire day.
And
That's a lot of money.
frankly,
I'm sorry. I'm not judging you. I'm saying that's a lot of fucking money.
ammunition, I don't really have to.
Yeah, I should. Maybe I should get a snowblower. I just show up with a
She will
snowblower.
destroy our nation. Other than that, but she will destroy our
Neat
nation.
dreams.
So when you take a look at it, and I think that just getting back to your original thought on the abortion, having it back in the states, the people are now voting on it, and we're going to put an end to a 52-year
That's crazy.
deal. This has been going on for 52 years.
Yeah.
It's back with the states. and
Oh,
it's a vote
per
of the
month.
people.
Yeah, I
And
understand.
that's what
Yeah, that makes
everyone
sense now.
wanted to be. And I think that issue is large.
More than once a month? Holy shit, dude. We get so much fucking snow.
If you feel the state goes a little too far, will you
I'm in Ottawa, right? We get so much snow. Montreal gets more, but
Oh no, I won't back it.
it gets so cold here, man. You're in New Brunswick, right? Doesn't it get cold as fuck there?
No, some states say no winter.
Yeah.
But they're all changing because the people in the state won't.
And I hate
stand for
fucking
that.
winter.
There are some states
I
that
hate
say
being outside
under
in
no
the winter.
circumstances. You have a daughter.
That's probably
and
the
she's
number one thing I hate the most
by
in this
worst,
world.
most
Oh, I forgot
violent
the shit.
criminal
Hold
in
on,
the
be right
country,
back.
and you cannot get, you cannot.
Just like fucking.
and-
I met a guy selling coconuts on Miami Beach.
And, the father
I don't know if he was American or he had like an American accent. He could have been Canadian.
because he killed 50
That was his
people.
job, just
And
selling
you're gonna
coconuts
have
on the
to pay
beach.
And I
You
can't
have to have
believe.
empathy for that.
No, I can't believe that people are forced to do that.
Yes.
And you
That's
have
what I
this
want.
tiny, right now.
Yeah.
It used to be a much bigger segment.
Yeah.
No, I think I've done a good job in a lot of ways because I've convinced people that you just can't do that.
No, that's important.
It's always been complex. It's always been tough, but we've come a long way with that issue. But just in a nutshell, bringing it back to the states and giving a vote of the people is where they wanted it 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. And then they got a little complex. They talked about the length and the number of
With
weeks.
protection.
Yeah.
With protection.
That's the dream.
Women
Yeah,
and
to me, you have to. Ronald
Yeah,
Reagan a long
man.
time ago was with the same three protections.
Yeah.
He said he wanted, for incest and the life of the mother, and that was a long time ago.
Okay, you have a very busy day. Before you go, what would you like your legacy
Wow,
to
insane.
be? And what
That's
do
cool
you think
stash.
it will be?
So,
And thank you very much for taking
two
time.
very different questions, actually. I think.
It's cool, brother.
What would you like it to be?
I took over a country that was very troubled. This country was broken up and tremendous dissension.
Yeah, Miami's just. I love Miami so
And
much.
Barack Obama started it. and
Canadian agent.
it
In
was very, very bad.
October 2021, I moved to Miami and I lived there for 6 months.
Let's forget her for a second. But with
And I
my family,
drove back to Canada
part of it,
in April of 2022. Actually drove
dissension. The country is
a fucking
mess.
65-year-old man that I met on the
And it's
beach
broken in a lot of ways.
that
What I would like
could barely
legacy to be is
physically
the
speak
same as
because he
the
had
term MAGA,
a couple
Make America Great Again. I'm gonna make this
seizures
country great again. It's not
and then like an aneurysm after
it's loaded
It's
up.
always a great
the COVID-19
See,
vaccine.
It's always a great country.
Okay, good. I
And
say
I drove him to
it has
North
the potential,
Carolina
and it was a great country.
to
I think now there's
meet,
so
to be
much
with his
hatred
brother
and so much
and
dissension. I think when you have
nieces,
people
two
that can't walk
nieces,
down Fifth Avenue,
young
when
children,
you have people
nieces.
that can't walk down a street, it ceases to be
So fucking random.
We can always be better.
Yeah, but you can't blindfold yourself to say.
And I streamed meeting the guy. Sailor Curse saw him on stream. I think you might have seen him too, Stash. He had a beard. He was like fucked up because of the fucking vaccine. He was an electrician. Said he worked on every building on Miami Beach. He knows all the electrical. He was in the basement of every building, fixing the electrical shit.
That doesn't mean that we can't make it better. I like the idea of making it better every single time, fixing these things when there's leaks in the ship. But
So crazy.
the idea of America and becoming the greatest version of yourself is something
I feel like it was some sort of spiritual
I
reason to go down and meet. And he didn't, bro. He shared stories that like he got fucking jumped and beat up and woke up like concussed and robbed in Miami Beach as a homeless person, and
People are dying in Ukraine because we had an incompetent
like he said he felt safer traveling with me than taking the bus because on the bus he fears like getting robbed or jumped or like fucking real shit, man. Yeah.
Afghanistan. People falling off.
So it was crazy. And his name was Mark. His fucking name was Mark. How fucking crazy was that? It was like I was like looking into the future. We found each other on the same spot on the beach, fucking being beach bums.
Because that was caused by energy and the stupid energy. So, look, we love our country, and it's had moments of greatness. but
Happens a lot on the buses. Damn, no way. People getting jumped. Yeah, I believe it. Dude, they do that in Brazil too. That you mentioned at the bus. As soon as they get off the bus, they jump them.
I'll give you an example. We're going to lose
Yeah, fuck me, man.
because countries are going off the dollar. I'm going to
True Mark's just mumming on the beach. Pretty much. It was a fucking massive Portuguese man of war.
And I say it.
Jellyfish that brought us together.
Yeah. And I just want to, I would like to have it. I used to have something, I was going to use it, and I didn't use it because the country started to do badly. CAG.
But I know what Stash is talking about. Everyone in Miami is really cold, man. They're cold people. They only want to, like, they don't want to be bothered. They want to, like, they're just like cold people. And Mark was not cold. It was like, he was the most real guy I met the entire time there.
I came up with a phrase that just turned out to be mega. No, it's the greatest
I don't mean like literally cold. I mean just like emotionally. Sounds like Toronto. Yeah, exactly, buddy. It's just like East Coast. I think it's an East Coast thing, man. I might be wrong, but New York isn't really like that. Kind of is a little bit. Philly's not like that. Like Atlanta's not like that. I haven't really hung out in Atlanta, but it's not like that.
I'd like to give you a chance to dispel, and then one question, if you have time, I'd like to ask selfishly.
Georgia's not like that.
The far left, I think, says this thing that, oh, if Donald Trump wins, he's never going to cede power. And they have some clip of you saying, just vote for me one time, you won't have to vote again. I don't believe this is true. I want to give you a chance to publicly say that's nonsense, just so you can publicly speak to any moderates out there.
So what I said, Christians tend to vote at a very low percentage for some reason, and so do gun owners. Would you believe it? The NRA gun owners tend not to vote.
Finish 2 blocks. Here we're in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of blocks. So we can imagine how 30 years was really actually a short time to build this whole structure. And what we also can imagine is there were a lot of people working in this working site.
True.
To finish Angkor Wat in just 30
One we left alone, yeah.
Archaeologists calculate that the labor force could have numbered in the hundreds of thousands. But building the entire temple in sandstone using traditional methods would have taken too long. So Khmer builders must have discovered an engineering technique that sped up the work. In Phnom Penh, the dilapidated state of the sandstone walls gives archaeologists a surprising clue of the construction process.
For instance, at this corner, we can see that a lot of the original wall stone units were actually collapsed. And this gives us a chance to see more in detail the foundations inside the temple mountain. In the case of Phnom Penh, actually, the Temple Mountain was built around the natural hill.
Here, ancient builders laid sandstone onto the bedrock of a natural hill to save time. But at Angkor Wat, they couldn't use the same trick. It was constructed on a flat foundation of sand. Now, 3D modeling makes it possible to visualize a remarkable secret hidden inside the structure. Underneath an outer layer of sandstone blocks, architects used a red rock called laterite.
Actually, behind every sandstone units, which we see being part of the raised platforms, there are laterite blocks.
Examining laterite on a microscopic scale exposes an iron-rich mineral with a honeycombed structure, whose properties make it particularly easy to work with.
The advantage of laterite is that it's relatively easy to extract compared to sandstone, and at the time of extraction, it's relatively loose.
When it is extracted, when it is quarried, it's actually very much filled with water. So it's just left drying, and then it hardens.
So after that, it becomes a rock that can be cut without the risk of breakage, that can be used for monumental construction.
By building from the foundations up using laterite and then placing the sandstone on top, Khmer builders sped up the construction of Angkor Wat. But once the different types of rock had been cut, they still had to be lifted to build the towers of the central sanctuary, which are up to 65 meters high. Today, restoration teams use cranes to quickly move enormous blocks weighing between 1 and 3 tons. But in the Middle Ages, without modern tools, how did the Khmer builders solve this problem? With the help of the latest technology, experts can now reveal clues that are invisible to the naked eye. Today, a team from the Apsara National Authority's Photogrammetry Laboratory is visiting the site of Bantay Tam, a small temple built a few decades after Angkor Wat. Its towers are made of thousands of sandstone blocks. But how did builders reach the top? The team plans to take thousands of photographs to create a 3D model of the site and record every tiny detail of the ruins. The operation would be impossible without the use of drone technology.
The drone is really important for the 3D model for the temple because we cannot climb up to the top of the temple. So we need the picture on the top.
By flying over areas usually impossible to reach, the drone takes unique shots of the temple, covering a full 360-degree view in minutes. The team then processes the photos on a computer. They use powerful software to automatically place the images in a digital space and create a point cloud volume. They can then texture the volume to recreate the temple in minute detail.
With this 3D model, we can show everything on the top, on any direction, from anywhere. We can zoom inside and go to see everything in accuracy about their decoration, about their sculpture, and we can go any place that we cannot go by the human.
By studying the 3D model of Bantay Tam from all angles, the team finds strange markings on the sandstone blocks. Hundreds of holes from the base to the top of the temple. These are vital clues to solve the mystery of the construction process.
In Angkor Wat, we can observe in many of these blocks these holes, and really it refers to the way that these stones were brought into place. Originally, the holes were wooden pegs would have been installed in order to lift the blocks and bring them to their final location.
3D imagery exposes a theory about how Khmer engineers used these holes. They inserted large wooden sticks directly into these notches on each side of the stone, allowing them to handle and move the blocks much more efficiently. But this doesn't explain how builders lifted them so high up.
I think the way of moving the stone from the bottom to the top using the scaffolding is not enough to support the stone because the stone is too large.
Simple wooden or bamboo scaffolding could not support the weight of the blocks. So how did the builders haul tons of stone to heights of 65 meters? Now archaeologists have found new clues. At the site of Rongchen, an unfinished mountain temple dating from the 9th century, allowing them to suggest a theory that can be revealed using 3D modeling technology. Builders constructed earthen ramps to drag blocks to the top of the construction site. Then they dismantled the temporary ramps. Thanks to this ingenious process, the Khmer builders were able to haul millions of sandstone blocks to the highest points of their site. But once the blocks were in position, the work was far from over.
When you arrive in Angkor, what impresses you the most is the gigantic size of the monuments. Then afterwards, you look at the detail. Incredible sculpture covers the stone. They were geniuses. There are no other words, without bragging.
The mystery is how in only 4 decades did the Khmer carve kilometers of bas-reliefs, thousands of small columns, and monumental towers. To finish in time, architects had to plan ahead and ensure their work was ultra-efficient.
The process of the construction is the structure built first, from the base onto the top, and then the carving went down from the top to the bottom.
It would have been extremely difficult to carve the stone units when they were not yet in place, because only once the blocks are perfectly sitting in their place, then it is possible to carve the details to this level. And it is thanks to this extreme precision in the setting of stones that we can now have the feeling that basically it's just one big stone.
Thanks to ingenious techniques and perfectly planned organization, the Khmer succeeded in building Angkor Wat in just a few decades. But the scale of this incredible task raises new questions. Today, examining Angkor Wat from the air, the monumental temple appears lost in the jungle. And on the ground, the many structures surrounding it seem to have been abandoned. But the temple walls are covered in carvings that illustrate the lives of people living in a great civilization. So where did their homes go? And how big was the city that once stood here?
The temples are made of stone, they're very durable, they survive relatively well until the present day, but the cities that grew up around these monuments were made of wood and other non-durable materials that have just disappeared almost completely in this tropical environment, which presents a real challenge for us trying to reconstruct what happened, everyday life around these temples.
Now scientists are lifting the veil on the true size of the city of Angkor, thanks to a cutting-edge technology that operates on an aerial scale, LiDAR.
LiDAR can take out the forest from the grounds.
Attached to a helicopter, LiDAR uses light waves. The rays pass through the forest canopy and are reflected back to the LiDAR sensors, allowing researchers to chart the topography of the ground in unprecedented detail. In 2012, an international team scanned an incredible 370 square kilometers around Angkor in just 20 hours.
We were able to map huge areas of the landscape very, very quickly and with exceptional precision and detail, achieving in a few hours of flying what may have otherwise taken years or even decades on the ground. Results were obviously a revelation for us.
The LiDAR revealed something astounding about the landscape around Angkor Wat. Hidden within the temple enclosure, the team discover an astonishing urban grid made up of countless man-made hills and depressions. The
Wow, I never knew that. Look
Geographic
at that.
System Department
Under the forest is more in
collected
Angkor
by
Wat. It's
international
crazy.
teams.
See? This is LiDAR data. Different colors represent different elevations. The dark is the highest ones. You can see the grid, and you can see the deep shape, a pond, a small pond, and a dike. You see? And a small mound, and then the traces of the, could be the road here. That is the way the people organize the cities.
This is the landscape in which people lived for the most part in the central area, in city blocks, square city blocks, surrounded by roads or canals. They built their wooden houses on top of mounds to stay above the floodwaters during the wet season, and they also dug ponds into the ground to keep water during the dry season for household use. Of course, the wooden neighborhoods have disappeared, but the traces of their earth moving, the traces of these ponds and mounds remain on the surface.
By using LiDAR, experts discovered the hidden elaborate urban structure filling the enclosure of Angkor Wat. But there was more.
When we move to see the outside, it's similar.
All around the sacred temple, archaeologists have uncovered more than 370 square kilometers of urban structure. Evidence of a high population density.
It's very impressive, you know. Through this information, I can say there are many people inside the compound, but also outside the compound as well.
The picture that we have today of monuments covered in jungle and kind of cliched, and the temples themselves represent in a way the kind of skeleton of the society that lived there. In the middle of Angkor 1,000 years ago, in fact, it would have been a very busy place, full of life, full of color, full of noise, full of people moving around.
Because, if there are no people, how to build this large monument? It's impossible to do that.
These builders, living at the foot of the Angkor Wat construction site, form part of a gigantic medieval city called Angkor, the capital of the Khmer Kingdom.
We probably believe that more than 800,000 people who live in the capital city, so roughly 1 million. This is maybe the biggest city here on the world at 12th century.
At its height in the 12th century, the capital was the center of a gigantic Khmer Empire that can only be visualized on a satellite scale. From its very beginnings in the 9th century, the kingdom had an incredible urban organization.
Angkor, in a way, is unique in human history for the degree of transformation of the landscape that took place as part of this extraordinary project of urbanism and engineering.
But how widespread were these structures around the kingdom? What was the real size of the city? Now French archaeologist Jean-Baptiste Chevons is revealing the answer. In 2017, his fieldwork illuminated by a vast LiDAR campaign exposed the urban remains of one of the very first cities in the empire, located in a remote area 40 kilometers northeast of Angkor Wat, the city of Mahendraparvata. In this remote massif of the Phnom Kulen Plateau, teams used LiDAR to sweep an enormous area stretching 900 square kilometers, revealing ruins previously unknown to researchers. Today, Jean-Baptiste is trying to reach a temple identified by this new technology.
The green square corresponds to the platform of the temple, and the earthen embankment around it is this beige line that probably corresponds to the surrounding walls of the monument.
He uses GPS to track his position and plot a route. It's the only way to navigate the jungle and reach the hidden ruins in order to explore them further.
The web?
We do indeed have a square platform, which I can see very well on the screen, which is shown here by this mound. And then, in the center of the platform, we have vestiges that correspond to a religious building, shown by fragments of pedestals. This is the base. We're standing on a temple which is new, which was previously unknown, and in this case discovered thanks to LiDAR.
The temple is 40 kilometers from Angkor Wat, giving an indication of the scale of the Khmer Empire ruins hidden in the region. But the most important discovery revealed by LiDAR remains invisible from the ground.
The LiDAR allowed us to see an extremely organized urban network in the form of a large grid.
As early as the 9th century, Khmer builders had constructed residential quarters around the temples, stretching 1.5 kilometers on each side, connected to each other by large communication routes.
We have 3 east-west.
Pretty good.
And we have 4 north-south, so 1, 2, 3, 4.
The discovery illustrates the extraordinary building capacity of the Khmer from the very beginning of their empire.
At the end of the 8th, early 9th century, there was already a knowledge of town planning, and then a willingness to do so in order to build such a city in a relatively hilly area.
Examining the area on a satellite scale is the only way to expose the true footprint of Angkor urban planning. For more than 600 years,
Okay, I can't believe I'm going to watch an MSNBC thing on here. I don't think we've ever watched MSNBC, but
very different scales of
the
infrastructure.
title.
Abortion ban that could actually get overturned in November, even in that relatively conservative state. And in those remarks I mentioned yesterday, Trump was also asked about banning the abortion medication. Here was his answer.
These people look interesting. The guests look really interesting.
For example, to revoke access to mifepristone, that's one of the things.
So you could do things that would supplement, absolutely, and those things are pretty open and humane. But you have to be able to have a vote, and all I want to do is give everybody a vote. And the votes are taking place right now as we speak. Yeah, but it's a very good. There are many things on a humane basis that you can do outside of that.
But it ran away. Come on.
No. I don't think he knew what mifepristone is.
That part.
Yeah, and so he was just, I don't want to call it winging it because it was word salad.
But the first word was sure.
Yeah.
The first word was sure, and we know in Project 2025 it says overturn access to abortion medication and stop allowing access by mail of abortion medication. It's all written there. And you add that to the fact that he appointed 3 anti-choice Supreme Court justices with the explicit intention of overturning Roe. Of course this is his plan.
Yeah, on policy, they did this. Those are his judges, and he campaigned on it. On politics, even Donald Trump seems aware. You saw it in the body language of, well, don't make a headline about that.
Right.
You're already losing on this issue.
Right, because if he had it his way, abortion wouldn't even be a word that is allowed to be spoken on the campaign trail. And conversely, you have Harris and Walz who are drilling this home every single time they address voters because they know how much of a mobilizing issue it is, has been in 2022 and 2023 when voters cross partisan lines and demographic lines to support its codification in their state constitutions.
Right. Well, Trump is stuck with the fact that he named the 3 Supreme Court justices who did this. So he wants to portray it as a victory. He says everybody wanted Roe overturned, which is not true. And he would be happy if he could just say, leave it to the states, we could forget about it. But there are too many states who are going to push it further in the draconian direction, and he's going to be tagged with that. he seems to think it's not going to be a volatile issue in November. It's going to drive a lot of votes. It's the #1 issue, and I really do think the women of America, and men too, because it's part of the freedom issue. And I love the fact that the Democrats are now, there's a broader umbrella of freedom issues. You know, freedom to mind your own business is also part of that. So, and they talk about abortion as reproductive health care. And so I think the Democrats have an advantage on this, but the Republicans have an advantage on immigration. And Harris went directly at them with an ad this week. She's not afraid of the border issue. She says just because we're compassionate doesn't mean we're not strong. But that's a Karl Rove technique where you go right at your opponent's strength.
Yeah, don't wait for them to bring it up.
I'm really pleased to see that as well.
And it's interesting, you mentioned immigration. We had one of Trump's longest serving White House advisors, Stephen Miller, on this week. We talked about immigration and what you brought up, 25. And again, you have to fact check and you have to deal with these things, but it is striking both to get people on record and get them out of the bubble so you can have what we do here, journalistic adversarial questioning, and also that they are at least running from or pretending that they don't want to be about 25 anymore. Here's just a brief exchange I had with Stephen Miller.
Project 2025 has absolutely nothing to do with the past, present, or future. President Trump and President Trump alone will make his own policies. I can assure you that nobody involved in working on Project 2025 in any substantive fashion is going to be involved in any future policy decision.
You've just said that. The former president said that, as I mentioned. There are issues where we see a kind of overlap.
President Trump is sui generis. He is President Trump. He has his own agenda that is his and his alone.
Eleanor?
President Trump does not like immigrants. I think we can be confident
That's too
if
much,
he is
man.
elected
AI's got this
that there
fucking
would
sick,
be
twisted
some
sense
roundups
of humor.
and there would be some deportations. I mean, he's on record for that repeatedly. And look what he tried to do when he first won in 2016 and 2017, the Muslim bans. This is what he is about from the minute he came down the escalator. And the speeches about they are sending us they're emptying their insane asylums. So I don't trust him to be at all middle of the road on this. In fact, I trust him more on the abortion issue because he sees that as a political loser. The only way he would go further to the right on that as president would be if there is a Republican legislature and they all vote for this and he's driven into it. Otherwise, you're right, he doesn't want to even talk about it.
Right. Yeah.
But immigration, he's got a lot of ideas on that one.
Yeah, and Juanita, campaigns are also an information and education process.
Yes.
And here we've added Harris later than usual, so people are learning about her.
Right.
Those who already know about her or like her might say, oh, well, this is so great. Saying it's great or whatever you think it is, good or bad, is based on what you already know about her. And a lot of people in the country don't. Likewise, Project 25 has started to get enough attention that they're running from it, but as we showed when I was fact-checking Mr. Miller, I showed multiple parts of the GOP platform that already overlap on abortion, on the immigration issue we discussed at length. Again, as I always say, people make up their own minds, but it's important to make sure, especially people who've been busy or tired by politics, inflation, and COVID,
or who aren't going to read 900 pages of
or
a
aren't going to read it all,
Yeah.
this is actually tied to them, and if even they won't stand on it, that might tell you something.
Because the other reality here that I hope came up in that conversation with Stephen Miller was that it was written by former Trump White House staffers who are jockeying now internally at Heritage Foundation for who will lead if Trump is elected again in his White House. So the reality that the attempt by Stephen Miller to say, oh, this isn't us, we didn't have fingerprints on it, they explicitly did. I appreciate you for calling that out, but I think voters also need to understand that those same people who wrote this, who the RNC lifted pieces of it for their 16-page platform, will absolutely be trying to implement this if Trump is elected. The threat is real, the threat is present.
They're right. What can I say? They're right. Like Harris can like literally just fucking, she can play anything about it. Like look at this fucking bros. Dude, I think Harris is gonna fucking win this fucking election.
That
Man.
I
Look at this.
wanted to visit with you is you all are on the ground doing
25K? What? I can't believe this doesn't have more views. That's insane. I used to be
since the
subscribed, but
Dobbs
Forbes
decision
was
came down 2 years ago,
super autistic, posting
I do
like 30
believe
videos a
that
day.
we as a country have faced a healthcare crisis.
Like, look at this.
And yes, it includes the concern that we have
This is
about
insane.
people's access to abortion care, and then the punishing of women, the criminalization of healthcare providers. But also we've seen clinics close around the country.
Yeah, man. I
that
really
provide
think she's
all
going to be the next
types of
president,
care,
man.
from PAPs to breast cancer screenings, HIV testing, and so much else, and just safe places for people to go. I know there's also been an impact in terms of students thinking about their career as physicians and what type of practice they would actually engage in and where they would go. We've been talking about healthcare deserts, which we know is a long-standing concern, but then exasperated by what we've seen most recently. And so I wanted to ask you, the experts, the trained and experienced folks who do the noble and important work of healthcare, to share a bit about how you are experiencing this moment in a way that can highlight the realities of this moment, the harm, and the reason why people, like here in the state of Michigan, should be concerned, even though they're not in Texas where I was and just left, but understanding if there were a national abortion ban, what it would mean for women and people throughout the country. So, Doctor, if you want to lead the discussion, but I would love to hear from you.
Yes.
She's right. She's completely right.
Anderson that was going to
Like
respond to that question, but
he might lose Michigan. He might lose Michigan.
Not widen the gap of health disparities. That the care of a woman is between her and her doctor, and that it not further cause shortages of physicians across the country.
So I'm a family medicine physician and an abortion provider here on the western side of the state. I think we don't have to imagine what a post-Dobbs world looks like. We're living in a world that already has abortion bans that typically are regionally dependent. Here on the western side of the state, we represent not only a safety net for our region here in the Midwest, but over the last 18 months, we've seen an influx of patients that are coming particularly from the south and the southeast because of care deserts and already restrictive abortion bans. But what we're talking about here, especially with respect to this election, is that, you know this better than we do, is that there's an opportunity for multiple Supreme Court decisions that we will all be living through, not just in terms of the political landscape, but as physicians who are living through that experience with our patients. And what is at stake is not just what we're doing with respect to abortion care, but what reproductive justice means at large. We're talking about access to gender-affirming services, we're talking about access to contraception, and we're talking about everyone's ability to access care.
And including, to your point, prenatal care, postpartum care, all of that work that is done by physicians and folks such as you, and existing in many states with the fear that if you then do that work, somehow you may be punished or criminalized for doing that work.
And we have state protections in Michigan right now after 2022, but there is still a very real possibility of a federal ban.
How do you think about this in the context of what is happening in your profession and with, I know you, even though we've all met just now, well enough to know that you are active in your profession, and probably very much in touch with your colleagues from around the country. How are physicians and medical students talking about this moment right now, and the fears, the challenges, the concerns, and also what you would like to do in terms of, now you have all these microphones in front of you, right? The public education about what this moment means from your perspective.
Yeah, I think as medical students, we kind of have found ourselves in this sort of limbo. You know, we put all this hard work and time into doing what we want to, and we're supposed to be excited about that. But there is this decision looming on November 5th that has this chance to monumentally impact our careers before they even start. Like, we haven't dipped our toe in the pond yet. And I know for me personally, that is affecting my decision on residency applications coming up soon. Like, I would like to be able to practice the medicine that I want to practice and give healthcare to people who need it. And I mean, we're not just talking about a few abortion restrictions. We're talking about these very extreme bans that maybe don't even have exceptions for rape or incest and things like that. And I am a survivor of sexual assault. I volunteer with survivors of sexual assault. And the thought that I potentially in the future will not be able to provide people with the breadth of healthcare that I think is required after such a traumatic event like that is enough to like make me sick. So I am doing all that I can to make sure that my future that I have worked for the past 26 years looks how I want it to, and I really hope that other people are kind of joining me in that.
It does, this moment does require, among many things, knowledge about what's going on, and also just empathy. Which is when we know that there are people who are suffering, don't we collectively as a society want to end that suffering and give them the care they need with the dignity they deserve? What else would you each or all like to share while we have all these folks here who can, I think, benefit, and I certainly can, from what you all can share in terms of what you see unique.
What about the vast majority?
The effect of Dobbs and this moment on your profession, on your clients, on your patients.
I think it's
your
just,
community.
I think just women
How are
just
you
don't want to
thinking about
be
this moment in
pregnant,
terms
man.
of
They just don't want to have
just
children,
what
like
we
dude.
do legislatively, what we do from a policy perspective.
I am concerned about
Yeah,
physicians in training.
a lot are.
as our
Probably
medical
the majority
students
are,
and
for
then
sure.
making decisions about where they would do residency or where they would do training, and that maybe not being in states and areas where they don't have abortion
Well,
rights
it's
and women
sad,
don't
man.
have the
It's like
rights
they
over
don't.
their lives.
Most people don't.
So that could create
Like
a further
it's like
shortage
you're
in some of those areas
passing
where there's
away your
already
potential
physician
child.
shortages.
It's a sad thing
And
when
there's
people get
already
sad.
health disparities.
Not everyone,
Because
but
we
it's for
already
freedom.
see where
You know?
patients have to travel miles
Just for
and
freedom.
miles to get the care that they need, and there have been stories where even when
I don't
they
know. I
get
think it's
to
just
those
like
places to receive
freedom,
the
you
help,
know.
they can't get it because the physicians are afraid, and that's not what we
I think it's just like.
Or to your point, overwhelmed, right? In terms of you are taking in patients from states surrounding a state that still provides care.
You can't make it illegal. You can't do that. Like they won't. People will abort always in their lives from all their different reasons. It's like, and I support it being completely legal. And alright. It's so crazy. Like Kamala literally has no platform, and now she's hitting it out at the park by going to this. Like that was an insane interview. Like these people are crazy. It's handled through the states. Like these people are crazy, man. I don't think the states should define any human rights. That was an amazing interview. Like, that was an incredible interview, man. They didn't really say very much of value, but it was very, courageous of the women to come out like that. On camera. They knew the action would result in a child, so they ended it. I think even just looking at it objectively, like whether a person has freedom or not, wants to have a child or not, I think that's objectively kind of makes more sense. But even like, you're not going to like win in changing what they do. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just like you're just making it illegal. You're just making it more stressful and difficult for them. Tony Hinchcliffe. Well, let's watch it. Let's fucking watch this fucking shit.
Thank you very much, and we love
It
you.
is.
And
It is
I
pretty
can tell you
racist
that
though.
from the bottom of my heart. This has been an incredible 4
Yo, are you
years.
serious, man?
We've
Yo,
accomplished so
Toad.
much together. I want to thank all of my family and my friends and my staff. Only say this: we have worked hard. We've left it all, as the athletes would say. We've left it all in the field. We don't have to. We don't have to come and say. We'll never say in a month when we're sitting in Florida, we're not going to be looking at each other and saying, you know, if we only worked a little bit harder, you can't work harder. I will always fight for you. I will be watching, I will be listening, and I will tell you that the future of this country has never been better.
Yo, brother, thank you, man. No, you didn't have to do that, man. Thanks, dude. With your prime. Thanks, homie. Appreciate that, man. Yo, thanks a lot, man. Man, the prime. Honestly, the prime is a special one. Not that it's a special one, but I mean, it's like, you know, it's like you choose out of all the streamers to choose me. So thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. I've been here since day one of the weightlifting streams. Tony Hinch, full speech, should we? Should we?
Wow, isn't this special? 17 years ago, I was sleeping in my car behind the Comedy Store in LA, and I'm proud to say this is my 4th time performing at Madison Square Garden, the most famous arena in the damn world.
This is satire. I love satire. I love Latinos. I love Latinx. I love yo amo los Latinos, la comunidad Latinas, Latinos. Mucho gusto.
The American dream alive and well right here. This is very different than I'm used to performing, though.
Thank
I'm
you, Toad.
used to nighttime with people drinking.
Even when we
Not so many
disagree
babies in the crowd
on something and you
people
subscribe
that
to me, you know,
obviously
that's
only here
like,
for Lee
you see,
Greenwood
that's like
tonight.
manhood, you know? I appreciate it, my brother. We
Normally,
don't disagree, but you know what I mean?
political beliefs
We have a
and no
disagreement
thing.
on
It's divisive for a comedian to do that, but
how.
just know I sleep well at night knowing who I'm voting for.
Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. When I lay down and my head hits my pillow.
Yes. And yeah, and men
It
too.
is a fantastic pillow, by the way.
And men too.
I was
Well,
staying
like,
at Four
you know, like
Seasons by
I'm not
Central Park.
like I'm not denying that it, like, the man mourns the potential death of the child, right? Like, I'm not, like, that is real, and it makes a lot of angry men too, right? But it's like, it's the body of the woman that trumps everything, even just the life of the woman, what she wants to do with her life. I think it trumps everything. You know. But really, it's about, like, freedom and my body, my choice, you know? Anyways.
Park one night, and I laid my head down, and it
But you're
felt
right.
so good, and I thought to myself,
Does it,
what an
honestly, abortion probably does increase violence against women from men that aren't able to process the mourning. And I'm not saying it's the woman's fault, it's the fault of the man, but I'm just saying, like, I'm sure violence does go up in issues, health issues, mental issues. But we should talk about it. And it's like, it's a consequence of the action. I mean, even if the woman, she might not regret it, but she still might be sad, you know what I mean? But two things can be true. It's really interesting. Really sad, but interesting.
a little bit of money now, I could buy a good pillow. And I took the pillowcase off, and there it was. My pillow, my pillow, my pillow. And damn it, I bought 4 of them. And if you use the promo code KILLTONY, you can also buy 4 My Pillows. There's serious stuff happening, people. I live in the great state of Texas now. 18 years in Ohio, 20 years in California, and I got to see California turn to absolute.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I disagree with.
Greatest downfalls I've ever seen, and that is where the other candidate worked for 2 decades, and it's absolutely wild to see. And in Texas, stuff is really
Yeah,
crazy.
sorry,
Right there by a wide open border.
I disagree.
Where are my proud Latinos at tonight?
I think women should have. Oh no! Here we go. Here we
You
go.
guys see what I mean? It's wide open. There's so
Oh,
many
did he
of
cut
them.
it? Did he cut it? No
It's
way.
absolutely incredible. Believe it or not, people, I welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by open arms, I mean like this. It's wild. And these Latinos, they love making babies too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country. Republicans are the party with a good sense of humor. Free speech is under attack, people. I host a show, and each week I get updates.
I disagree with everything this comedian is saying. Or what's chat saying?
It's happening right now the past few years. It's a real thing. And, you know, used to be able to tell people to Google stuff. My mom's a boomer in the state of Ohio, and there's no
I disagree with both of you, but that's okay.
She's eating the cats. She's eating the dogs. They're eating the pets.
I think, like, the thing is, no matter what opinion one may have, women are going to do what women want to do with their lives. I think just because I think humans want to do whatever a human wants to do with their life.
I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a
So,
floating
I mean, like,
island
whatever
of
law you
garbage
make,
in the
they're
middle
not
of the
going to
ocean
follow it.
right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting there. Again, normally I don't
They
follow
just have
the
women hating
national
men.
anthem, everybody. This isn't exactly a perfect comedy setup.
That's the thing.
There's some
The
people
most
here. All
qualified
right,
'cause
very good.
most just uses contraceptive.
I like it. I have other policies that I think should
I don't
be
think so,
implemented as
man.
well. Like me personally,
It's,
I
dude,
think football
it's
should
like,
be all year round.
it's like physically,
So many great athletes. I don't know about you guys, but I
not
think that
everyone
Travis
mourns
Kelce
the
might be
loss, but
next
like it's
O.J.
physically
Simpson.
demanding of the body too. It's not a fucking.
Feels good in here. The other side's got a lot of crazy endorsements. Swift, Eminem, Leo DiCaprio, Beyonce. Every day the Democratic Party looks more and more like a P. Diddy party. Oh, okay. Okay, that's what you guys want. All right, heck yeah, it's a cool black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that, a lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. Wow.
What? What was that
That's
show?
one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome. You guys are, this is a groany little morning crowd, huh?
Oh my
It's
gosh,
tough
I
to
gotta turn it off. I'm gonna turn it off. This guy's not even making fucking sense. Dr. Phil. Tucker Carlson. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah! I have never in my life spoken at a political rally. I've covered a million of them for over 30 years, and I've never spoken at one, never thought I would, and I'm so thrilled. I'm honored to be here. I really am. And I am. It's totally without shame and entirely with gratitude I'm standing here. And I can't believe I just spoke after Bobby Kennedy. So cool. So here we are at an enormous Donald Trump rally less than 2 weeks before the presidential election. I'm following Bobby
Yeah, I
Kennedy
think that's
Jr.
Toad. I think that's
and
the
somewhere
root of our.
in a half-empty
We came to
Union
this
Hall in a cold state is
agree to disagree moment because
daughter campaigning with Kamala Harris.
you're right. I do think there needs to be socialized abortion. like
That is a thrilling
from
trade, as
the
far as
government,
I'm concerned.
and you don't want it to be federal. You want it to be state, and you're about logistics. But I mean, I don't think there should be rights defined by the state at all. But if someone wants to have that procedure done, it should be at times paid for also from the government, the taxpayers in some sense, at least part of it.
So here's my perspective.
Like the system in Canada, the system in Canada is doing all right like that.
Which is amazing.
Tucker.
And that's why I'm here. I'm not here because he's going to win. I'm here because I'm so thrilled by what I've watched over the past 9 years. This is the end of a redemption arc. I've really never seen anybody treated like Donald Trump was treated. Ever. Anybody. Ever. Attack him. I watched this all up close. Defame him. Indict him. Arrest him. Let him get shot in the face. And he's gonna win anyway. Oh. It is a triumph. It's a triumph. The phrase triumph of the human spirit has been turned into a cliche by the people who write movie posters, but it doesn't make it any less real. Donald Trump's victory will be a triumph of the human spirit. It will be a triumph of Americans over the machine that seeks to oppress them. It'll be a middle finger wagging in the face of the worst people in the English-speaking world who are leaders. It will be a moral victory the size of which I never thought I would live to see. And it's essential. It is so important that that happens for a couple of reasons, and here's what they are. The first is to dissolve for all time, for the world to see, the primary lie about Donald Trump, which is that only freaks and misfits like him. That's a lie. And they've been telling that lie since the second he came down that escalator 9 years ago. If you like that, there's something wrong with you. You're the only person you know who likes that. You're a freak. Be ashamed. Do not talk about Donald Trump in public. Don't wear his dangerous little red hat. And if you're in the media, how dare you speak to him? And that was a lie from day one. It was a big lie. It was January 6th is an insurrection. What? It's the kind of lie that they tell relentlessly. They punish anyone who contradicts the lie because it is so preposterous it can only be upheld through force. And in the last 3 months, we have seen that lie dissolve like the Wicked Witch of the West under a bucket of water. Look around. Is this a room full of freaks and misfits? No, it's not. This is a room full of people who love their country enough to obey its laws, who sincerely believe in its founding precepts, who pay their taxes, who go to work. The ever-shrinking percentage of Americans who work a 40-hour week, who expect nothing from the system, and who have given their lives for the system, who were born in this country and plan to die here. And they're the most mistreated group in this nation, and they're also the biggest group in this nation. They're not some weird subculture of MAGA. They're America itself. And the only people who are denying that are the freaks and the misfits, who it turns out are themselves a tiny, bizarre minority, a cult, who have controlled the rest of us through fear and aggression. And that has ended. And it has ended thanks to the heroic stand that a couple of individuals have taken, first among them Elon Musk. Elon Musk, who single-handedly saved the First Amendment to the Constitution, which, let me remind you, is not just a feature of America, it's the basis of America. It's the First Amendment for a reason. It's what separates the free from the enslaved. Slaves are not allowed to say what they think. Free men have God-given right to do so and will.
Grateful Dead,
and this
nice.
is the only country on earth in which that is guaranteed. And without Elon Musk, it wouldn't be, because he stands alone as the owner of a media platform.
I don't know if it's gonna sound like shit.
Thank you very much, and we love you, and I can tell you that from the bottom of my heart. This has been an incredible 4 years. We've accomplished so much together. I want to thank all of my family and my friends and my staff. Only say this, we have worked hard. We've left it all, as the athletes would say, we've left it all in the field. We don't have to...
Read?
We don't have to come and say, we'll never say in a month when we're sitting in Florida, we're not going to be looking at each other and saying, you know, if we only worked a little bit harder.
This is like a minute long.
I will always fight for you. I will be watching, I will be listening, and I will tell you that the future of this country has never been better.
I will get by. I will get by. I will get by. I will get by. Turn my face to the wall. Stand QR code and can't turn my face to the wall. No, I'm not gonna play it. I can't do it. I'll play it, but I'm not gonna sing it. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that, my dude. Here we go again, infatuation just like me, just when I thought that it would end. Oh, but then again, it feels much more than I'm not sure exactly what you're thinking. Cause I toss and turn all night thinking of your ways of affection, but to find it makes no difference at all. When I throw away my past mistakes and contemplate my future, that's what I say. One day, would it last forever? You and I together, hand in hand, we run away. Far away, in for nasty weather. But I'll take whatever you can give that comes my way, yeah. Far away. Here we go again, infatuation just has me just when I thought that it would end. Oh, but then again, it seems you're much more, but I'm not sure exactly what you're thinking. When I toss and turn all night thinking of your ways of affection, but to find it makes no difference at all. And when I throw away my past mistakes and contemplate my future, that's when I say, one day, will it last forever? You and I together, hand in hand, we run away. Far away, in for nasty weather. But I'll take whatever you can give that comes my way, yeah. Far away, far away. Alright, let's start lifting. Let's do it.
That is still open. There's only one, and it's X. It's foreign-born Elon Musk. And then for him to come out, and by the way, just for the record, I've taken not $1 from Elon
Thanks,
Musk,
brother.
okay? It's not a paid advertisement, it's just an observation. And this is heartfelt gratitude. And when you see the richest man on planet Earth stand up there in a t-shirt, start jumping around on stage, he's also one of the biggest federal contractors. People say, oh, he's got FU money. No, it's just the opposite. There is no such thing as FU money. The more money you have, the more vested you are. There's only FU poverty, actually, is the truth. And Elon Musk has more to lose than any living American by taking the position that he did, and he did it anyway. And so what's the message? If the person who's created the most, not just piles of cash, he's not Larry Fink, he's not worshiping money like our finance class, he's building things. And if that guy is for Donald Trump, and not only not ashamed of it, he's jumping around in a t-shirt, I can see his belly button, he's so excited. Then maybe I'm not alone. Maybe I'm not the freak. Maybe what you're really watching is the tyranny of MSNBC. A channel with virtually no
what a
viewers.
speech.
A channel
Maybe I'm not alone, maybe I'm not a freak.
person has a personal life so grotesquely weird, if you knew the details, you'd call for their arrest. That's just true. And those people, the unhappiest people in this nation, are defining the terms of the conversation? I don't think so. How'd they get away with that? The same way they got away with calling January 6th an insurrection for 3 years, by repeating it and by attacking anyone who disagreed. But it's an illusion. It's the Wizard of Oz. And once you pull back the curtain, the only thing back there is Joe Scarborough, you're like, wait a second. Why am I taking orders from this guy? He's a freak. I'm a normal person. And that realization has settled on this country. On the whole country. And you feel it. People are not afraid anymore. At all. I've got a bunch of kids. I texted them, I'm going to go speak at a Trump rally. My kids, you go. I said, do you have a lot of friends who are voting for Carmela or whatever her name is? No, of course not. That's embarrassing. It has flipped. The story the country tells itself about reality has flipped. None of the normal people are supporting the Democratic machine. Tim Walz is supporting the Democratic machine. A man you would never allow to babysit your own children. That's the archetype. It's the party of weirdos, of envy, of hate, of resentment, of bitterness, of weakness, of a total lack of creativity. It's a party of conformity. It's a party of the machine. where it doesn't matter who the candidate is because individuals are immaterial. All that matters is the collective. That's the Soviet model. And opposing them is the rest of the country, slowly waking up to the fact that these people have no moral authority whatsoever. They have no legitimacy in a democracy where the government must rule by the consent of the governed. They have no consent. And the way that they've treated this country over the past 4 years is the most shocking thing I've ever seen in 55 years. To allow millions of people, mostly young men with no skills and no English, into our country illegally, and then fly them around at our expense and give them phones and put them on welfare programs that no American citizen can get. It is the most insulting. Yeah, boo. But it's worse than boo. That's the biggest crime in the history of the United States of America. And it takes incredible stones, incredible gall for the people who did that to stand up there on a stage and give you a lecture about how you're immoral. It's too much. And so that's the second important thing about this election, okay? The first is every person in this room needs to understand you are not in a despised minority. You are in an incredibly gentle and tolerant majority who put up with this crap for way too long. As they insulted not only you, but the memory of your ancestors who died for this country. They tore down statues to their memory. People have never built anything in their lives. They went out of their way to humiliate you and spit on you and the graves of your ancestors. And that's not an exaggeration, they did that. And this country is so nice, it's so polite, it's so thoughtful and empathetic and sweet. It's the kind of country that loves dogs and gives directions to strangers, that we put up with it for 4 years. But we can't anymore. We just can't. And we can't for two reasons. The first reason that we can't put up with it for one more minute is because it's just not justice. It's not. It's not justice. It's unfair. You cannot reward the most parasitic, useless, violent, nasty, aggressive people in your country. You can't make them the richest. You just can't. It's just wrong. In a fair, decent country, the people who work the hardest, who have the highest level of talent, who are the most creative, who are the most decent to their neighbors, who give the biggest tips to waitresses, those people should be successful. Those people should be revered. It shouldn't be Larry Fink. Are you joking? Kamala Harris shouldn't have a job. She has no skills. How did we wind up with a system where Kamala Harris, you couldn't change the tire on your truck, much less drive it? How did she wind up at the top of the pyramid? And then once she's there, she lectures you like you did something. It's too much. You can't allow that. It's an offense against the truth, against reality, and against justice itself. And the second reason you can't allow it is very familiar to anyone who has children, which is if you allow it, you will encourage more of it. If you allow people to get away with things that are completely over the top and outrageous, if you allow your 2-year-old to smear the contents of his diapers on the wall of your living room, and you do nothing about it, if you allow your 14-year-old to light a joint at the breakfast table, if you allow your hormone-addled 15-year-old daughter to slam the door of her bedroom and give you the finger, you're gonna get more of it. And those kids are gonna wind up in rehab. It's not good for you, and it's not good for them. No. There has to be a point at which Dad comes home.
Come on, dude. That's so sexist.
That's right.
Yo, what a big, Bowser Big Bean Burrito. How are you? But, dude, that's so sexist.
And he's pissed. Dad is pissed. He's not vengeful. He loves his children. Disobedient as they may be, he loves them. Because they're his children, they live in his house. But he's very disappointed in their behavior. And he's gonna have to let them know. He's gonna have to get to your room right now and think about what you did And when Dad gets home, you know what he says? You've been a bad girl. You've been a bad little girl, and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now. And no, it's not going to hurt me more than it hurts you. No, it's not. I'm not going to lie. This is going to hurt you a lot more than it hurts me. And you earned this. You're getting a vigorous spanking because you've been a bad girl.
Wow, okay, I'm gonna have to turn this guy off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. I don't disagree. I don't agree with it. Like, I can't believe he said that. I can't actually believe he said that. I do not agree with fucking Tucker Carlson. I'm sorry. I can't believe he said that. That's insane. Trump Live? Oh my god, Trump Live, folks.
I keep telling him, but
here we go.
it'd be even better if you wouldn't use foul language. And true.
I can't watch this guy. I can't do it. I can't do it, man. Machu Picchu. I don't know what time is it. 4:30. What are we gonna watch? What's up, Big Bowser Bean Burrito? Bowser Big Bean Burrito, what's up? Mid, yo, no spray, yo, what's up? Oh yeah, like they fucking spam, like look at this, 5 minutes ago, 15 minutes, 26. This is why I unsubscribed, because look at this, like there's, come on man. I gotta unsubscribe from this fucking Forbes, man. It's just too much. God, I can't see the fucking... I hate this bitch. Fucking Hochul. This fucking demon. Alright, I'm gonna have to unsubscribe later, but... what are we gonna watch? Does anybody have any suggestions for anything to watch? Where's the luxury mall? Montreal. It was okay. Kind of surprised how shitty Leo was. No mall exit? No fucking way. Wow. It's obnoxious. That's obnoxious. I can't believe Tucker Carlson stood on stage in the year 2024 and said he's going to, he promotes fathers coming home, spanking their daughters. I can't believe he said that. Like, these people are like unhinged, man. Off the hinges. People are going crazy, man. People are going crazy. People are really unhinged. Hulk? Like, come on, man.
looks like, who are going to be underway, including Hulk Hogan. Let's keep listening.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. Well, let me tell you something, Trumpomaniacs. Welcome to the house that Hulkamania built.
It's actually gonna be sick for lifting. Let's try it. Let's listen.
You know
6
something?
minutes.
Usually when I'm in Madison Square Garden, I'm body slamming giants. I'm winning world heavyweight titles, and I'm cracking people over the heads with steel chairs. And the energy in Madison Square Garden is off the Richter scale. But today, Trumpomaniacs, the energy in here is something like I've never felt. The energy of all these Trumpomaniacs is the most powerful force in the universe. And today, this is Donald Trump's house, brother. You know something, Trump maniacs? I don't see no stinking Nazis in here. I don't see no stinking domestic terrorists in here. The only thing I see in here are a bunch of hard-working men and women that are real Americans, brother. You know, when I hear my president and our president, Donald Trump, speak, he sounds for real, brother. He sounds like he has a heart of gold that's all for the USA. But when I hear Kamala speak, it sounds, it sounds like a script from Hollywood with a really, really bad actress. You know, Kamala is responsible for the border crisis, and Kamala is also responsible for inflation. And then you know something? She acts like she's the victim. And then all of a sudden, she flips, she flops, she spins and turns it around and acts like she's gonna be the damn hero. But we all know Trump is the only man that can fix this country today. And with Trump as our commander-in-chief, peace through strength will fix all the problems in the Middle East. You know, I've been coming to this building month after month after month, and I've seen sold-out crowds over and over again for over 40 years. And for 40 years, I've always asked the question, what you gonna do? Over and over and over again, what you gonna do? Well, today, after feeling the energy in this building, I finally got the answer. And the answer is, vote for Trump. So now, I got a couple questions for you. What you gonna do about the border invasion? What you gonna do about inflation? What you gonna do about keeping America safe, brother? And what you gonna do about putting God in our homes, in our country, and our schools? So I guess we're all on the same page. So I got one final question for you. What you gonna do, and who's gonna make America great again? God bless Donald Trump. He's our next president.
Can you show this gentleman, can you show him what you're about to hand the president real quick? When it happens, it happens? Okay. You don't want to drop it.
If you'd like to stand right here. Perfect, and you'll have clear view of the fire. Mr. Lasavita.
Mr. President, Trent is trying to kidnap you.
Stand by.
Hello, everybody.
Sir.
My first day at McDonald's. I'm looking for a job.
Hello, President Trump. I'm Derek Jack Tony. I'm the owner.
Well, that's a good owner. Must be a wealthy guy, huh? Thank you very much. Well, I'm looking for a job, and I've always wanted to work at McDonald's, but I never did. I'm running against somebody that said she did, but it turned out to be a totally phony story. So, if you don't mind, I want to work the French fry counter.
Absolutely.
Okay, how much you paying me?
How much are you paying?
Hello, everybody.
India's here. This is India. She has an apron for you.
Good job. First day.
I think I should take off. Should I take off my jacket? So the press wants to see this. Oh, you. He's a wealthy guy. He owns a lot of McDonald's. That's great. Thank you. Okay. I think that's good. You want to do it? Yeah.
Mr. Trump, what's your favorite thing to order at McDonald's?
I like it all. I like every ounce of it, everything. But I do like the French fries where I'll be working. I listened to Kamala. She said it was so hot. It was so hot. It was such a tough job. But then you have a man that's been doing it for many years with the French fries, right?
I want to learn everything.
I'm going to learn how to do it right now. Thank you.
Welcome here.
So President Trump, I have Jason. Jojo's going to teach you some fries. After hand some food out, and this is Frank. He's going to be more than happy to help you teach fries.
Let's go.
We're going to start over here on the fry hop. I'm going to take the lead at first and show you the basics, and then I'll pass it over to you. All right? So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a fry. Slowly and gently lower them in. So we don't burn ourselves. We're going to hit the fry timer. And then we got a lot of fries. We're going to cut another basket out. Another basket out. Lower it in. And then hit the timer. Now, in a couple seconds, the duty timer is going to go off. When that duty timer goes off, that basically means that the fries, you need to lift them out of the oil and shake them so that way they don't get stuck together. And then after that, we're going to put it back down. We're going to let the fryer cook. And then when they're Over here, all your fry cartons right here. There's a beauty timer. So beauty timer, we're going to press it, we'll lift it out of the oil, give it a couple shakes, and put it back into the oil. Okay? Same thing over here, timer, out of the oil, a couple shakes, back into the oil. And when those are done cooking, our fry station, we got extra small, medium, and large cartons all right there. A lot of our orders today are going to be medium, so that's what we're focusing on. We've got the AccuSalt dispenser right here, so we're going to dump that on there. The way that this works, it is already measured for you, all the salt, so all you got to do is turn it over, let it dispense, and that's it. Yep. That's really bad.
That's pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
How long have you done this?
8 years.
And you're very good at it, right?
I appreciate that. Thank you. And then also one other thing, we're going to make sure we separate the fries when we put them into the fry station. So we don't want to mix old fries with new fries. We want to keep them all fresh and ready to go for customers. I can show you real quick this for the carton. When you're opening these cartons, you're going to push them aside, push that bottom part up, and that's that. And then we're going to hold them like this.
I've had many of those. I've probably had more than you.
Probably, yeah.
It's pretty sad when you get right there.
You don't want to squeeze too hard because then you're going to be kind of packing the fries in. We're going to make sure the fries.
You put them in through that.
Yep, exactly. We're going to grab our fry scoop and we'll put them in there. That'll be that. Also, when the fries come up, we're going to give them a twirl, make sure they're all evenly salted and everything like that, and then we'll put them on the fry ribbon, ready to go for the orders.
What do you sell? Mostly medium size?
Exactly.
What percentage of that?
That's going to be their question. What percentage of medium fries?
Yeah, I don't.
But mostly.
I think each location is a little different.
Yeah.
Medium's like the iconic fries.
That's good stuff.
And then once these come up, I'll salt them. I'll make a couple for us, and then I'll pass it over to you, and I'll kind of stand by to make sure that it's straight.
Very good.
And we'll probably drop it once it's your turn. We'll probably drop another basket, and then I'll take care of these. You'll take care of your basket.
Good job, isn't it? Not bad, right?
Yeah, very good.
You have a nice owner. Be careful, he's right there.
Regular, yeah.
Be careful. 8 years, that's the end of that. I'm going to the Pittsburgh game to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Should be good?
It should be a good game. Should be a very good game.
So how long did they stay with you?
Probably 3 minutes.
So you do the initial shake, you do a shake after that?
I'll show. No, not really a shake. So the full timer's going off. We're gonna hit the timer. We're gonna lift them up, hang them onto there, and then we're just gonna drain them. So we're gonna hold it here for around 10 seconds. Let the oil drain off them. We'll do these ones too. Put them up, drain them. Roughly 10 seconds. And then we're done. We're gonna lift this, 2 hands, over, drop it in. And then we can put all of our old baskets right over here, ready to be refilled for the next time. Same thing. Hands, drop it in.
And you always keep them separate?
Yeah, exactly. I want to mix old and new. Now we get our AccuSalt, fold it over. Don't gotta shake it or anything like that. Dispense exactly what you need. And then like that, that's done. And then we start making fries. We grab our medium carton, sides, bottom. And then we're gonna give these quick salt, get their salt evenly dispersed. And then all the way in, make sure they're all the way filled up.
That's pretty good, I'll tell you. Are we allowed to give any to the fake news? Hey, by the way, did you see the crowds out there? For the fake news. They've never seen crowds like that. Took you a long time to beat that one. That's a lot of people. What do you think, Doug? Gotta say, gotta report back. There's something going on. Something's happening, Margot. That's not normal.
So you want to give it a try?
I do.
You can step it over here.
Grab it.
We're going to grab the basket, 2 hands. And then you can go right into here on the left. Yep, slowly, right here. Slowly, gently lowered into the oil. You don't want to burn yourself. Up, down. There you go. And then we're going to hit our fry timer right here. That one's going good. Now we can drop another one too. So we'll grab one more basket, 2 hands. Yep. We're going to put it right here. Lower it slowly into the oil, don't want to burn. Way too quick. And then we're just going to hit our fry timer right here. Now we're waiting for that duty timer. So now when that duty timer comes up, again, hit the timer, take it out the oil slowly, give it a little shake so that way it don't get stuck together, and then lower it back into the oil. So we'll probably, this one will probably go off before anybody else. Oh, there we go. Yep, you're good. You got it. So now lift it out of the oil. 2 hands. Can you slide over that? Shake, and then slowly back into the oil. That's good. And we got another one going off. So duty timer right here with that button. Good. And then out the oil. Shake. Back into the oil. Very nice. And then our last one is going to go off. We'll give that a few seconds. I'm going to make a few more fries.
That's good. You got let's make some more. Got about 10,000 people out there. That's a big crowd, huh?
Mr. Trump, why did you feel it was important to come here today?
I love McDonald's. I love jobs. I like to see good jobs. And I think it's inappropriate when somebody puts down all over the place that she worked at McDonald's. It was a big part of her resume that she worked at McDonald's, how tough a job it was. She specifically worked at the French fry, where they make the French fries, and she talked about the heat. It was so tough. She never worked at McDonald's. McDonald's just confirmed that again, by the way. She never worked at McDonald's. In other words, she's lying Kamala. It's a great setup, huh? So what's the second handle for a lefty?
Exactly, yeah.
And that's, so you have lefties that have
Exactly, yes. And also sometimes we have no salt fries. You got your right hand, you grab the hand to the left. Move on through there.
That's what you're missing, huh?
Exactly, yeah. So this one's about to be done. 20 seconds on that one. And that one's up. We're gonna, once it starts beeping, we'll say pull. We're gonna hit the pull timer. We're gonna lift it out of the oil. We're gonna hook it onto here. Lift the handle up to let it drain. Give like 10 seconds. Once it's done draining, we're gonna bring it over to the left side. Put it into there. Salt. And then big one.
Should they have some? Looks good, huh? These are definitely fresh. The good thing, they're definitely fresh.
Can you take a step back, sir? And then
pull.
Exactly. And we're gonna hook it right onto there.
Okay. Shake a little bit.
No, you don't gotta shake it. Just hook it right onto there. And then we're gonna bring this handle up toward the sky. So that way the
Get rid of the oil?
Yep. Bring it up. And then that's good. We're gonna bring them over directly to this one. Very good.
Grab one while it's really hot. See if you can touch that sucker. I don't think so.
Then we're going to bring that basket far right, all the way over to the right, and hang it right up there. And then we got another pull timer, so we got to hit that timer, bring that one up. I'm going to take care of these.
Okay.
Yep, right there. I did these ones already, they're good. You just gotta do that one right there. So grab that.
Give them extra salt.
No. Yep, good. Right there. And then we're gonna grab the fry scoop right here, put it into there, and just give them a swirl. Step out.
Okay, what is this little thing?
Medium fry part right here, sides, and then bottom. You step out.
Never even touch it, huh?
Exactly.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And then you're gonna put it right up here on this fryer.
Okay, sure. Can I give it to these guys here? Thank you.
Want to do another one?
Yeah.
So again, we're gonna sides, bottom, and then we're gonna hold it like this, so that way we don't squish the fry.
Okay, got it.
Exactly, and then grab your fry scoop. Probably get another scoop in there. Step back, please.
Wow.
Let's do a little bit more.
We'll do another one.
Yep. And then this one we got to dump it over here. But this one's clear for us, so we can put it right into here.
Let's do it.
All the way back there, good. And then you can hang that one right back over there. Thank you. And then we're going to grab our salt. And And then just one dump, no movement. Good, good, good. Turn over. And then we're going to grab the fry scoop and just give it a swirl, get it all that salt mixed up in there. Very good, very good. Step back from there.
Cool.
And we're going to take from these ones first. We'll just first in, first out, like the freshest one.
Right like that. Turn it up. Keep it tight. We got the salt on it. Never touches the human hand.
Very good, very
nice
good.
and full.
Thank you.
Good. Do another one?
Yeah.
I'll grab it. Never touched by a human hand. Nice and clean. Of course, my hands are nice and clean. This guy's a good instructor.
I appreciate it.
Wow. I'm going to give a really big one so that, look at that, they're just pouring out of it. How good is that, Margot? Here, Margot, have them. She's been with me a long time. She's the only one who can afford to have them.
Now, do you want to keep going with the fries, or do you want to?
No, I think it's good. I think it's good. Now, how about we bag them now?
Exactly. Okay, I'm going to back to JoJo. JoJo's going to help you with the bag.
Jojo, you're an expert at this, huh? Let's go. Thank you.
President Trump. So for our first order that's going out the window, we're going to need 3 medium fries. So would you like to put the medium fries in the bag?
I think so, yeah. So we'll do that.
Great. So we're going to start
Because
from
you know
this
who's
side.
making these, right? Mine. Do they ever ask for more salt? Supposing we want some extra salt, can it just go like that?
We will give them salt packets.
Watch this stuff. I love salt. Wait a minute, I spilled some. I'm very superstitious. No, it's over the left shoulder. No, okay. Let's go.
All right. Yep. So we'll start from this side.
Yeah,
okay?
fine. Put them in standing up, right?
Correct.
Jojo, you're an expert at this, huh? How long have you done this? How long have you been here?
I've been working with them 10 plus.
10 plus. All different jobs. She doing a good job?
Does an excellent job.
She better, right?
Does an excellent job.
She's beautiful. Let's go.
All right.
How many would you put in a bag like this? Like 6 you could? 6
No,
mediums?
5 is fine.
5?
Will cook the most. First order get 3 medium fries, and they're waiting for you.
Okay, very good. Let's go. Oh, I see. Now I'm going to see that. Oh, that's your customer out there. Wow, he's pretty good. Okay, let's go. Do you believe this? Look at this guy. He's a MAGA guy all the way.
Okay, so for his first order, yeah.
Well, that's a good-looking group. Hello, everybody. This is not a normal situation, is it? What a good-looking family. How did you produce those good-looking kids? Oh, they look like the what? They look like the what? How are you? Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Right.
Appreciate all the
Take this order right here.
Thank you. And there'll be no charge. Trump is paying for it. Is that okay? Oh, you're doing some extra stuff. Oh, okay, great. This is all on Trump. Oh, hold on. I'm allowed to do that, right? Yeah. Let's check and make sure it's everything you said it would be. It better be. It's going to be the best yet. I made it myself. You're the best. Make America great. That's it. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good time. Have a good time. That's great, isn't it? How cute is it?
Car.
The next car?
Yeah, they get both bags.
You like them both at the same time?
Yes, that is right.
Hello, how are you? You're a good-looking guy. I love you. Give me a respect. Very much. Thank you very much. I will. I promise. Thank you very much. That's on me. Okay? Have a good time. Thank you very much. I'll see you at the White House. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, fellas. Come on. We have another order coming in.
And this is their
That's
order?
thousands of people. Hello, how are you? What a beautiful woman. Look at a beautiful child. It's like the perfect looking person. That's good. That's your compliment. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Mom. Look at Mom over there. Thank you very much. Thank you, darling. You have a great mom? Good or great? That's right. You knew what to say. Thank you very much. Thank you, darling. Wow, so nice.
All right, you're doing a good job.
Okay, it's a nice
your hand won't be
Yeah.
too heavy.
Larry, look at this guy. I'm not going to mess with him. Huh? How you doing, sir? Fantastic. Hello. My new baby boy. How are you? Your new baby. How are you? Doing great. How are you? So this is compliments of me, okay? All right. You go have a good time. Don't eat too much, right? Thank you, man. You take care. Thank you, honey. Have a good time. Thank you. It's cute. This is fun. I could do this all day. I wouldn't mind this job. I like this job. I think I might come back and do it again.
Thank you.
Look at that. Look at that. How are you?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Nice to see you.
You made it possible for ordinary people like us to meet.
You're not ordinary.
I mean, thank you so much.
You are not ordinary. I can see.
We pray for you, and you are the type of person we want to be the president.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
So nice. Thank you very much. Yeah, I took a bullet. That's
Thank you, Mr. President.
When you think about it, I guess that's right. Thank you very much. Beautiful
One
wife.
picture?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Have a
very
good day.
much.
God bless you.
Great honor. Have fun.
Okay,
And then
this will be your next order. Your next order.
Both of them?
Got it.
Hello, everybody. I'm having a lot of fun here, everybody.
Oh
Look
my
at-
God! Oh my
look at the
God!
fake- Look at all the fake news over there. Hello, everybody.
You can take this,
And
right?
you know, this is compliments of Trump, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Mr. President,
Yes.
please don't let the United States become Brazil, my native Brazil.
Oh, we'll keep it good.
Please,
We're going to make it better than ever, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, Mr. President. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you over there.
Oh my God.
Have a good time.
Thank
Nice
you.
to
You
see you.
too.
Bye, darling. Have a good time. Thank you. How good are these people? I'm going to take plenty. I'm going to definitely have French fries for the plane. Have you seen the people over there? That is thousands of people. It's great, huh? How are you? Nice to see you. Here's my guy. Great cinematographer. Not enough. I want more. I want more money. No, I'm big. I'll tell you what, it's a great franchise. It's a great company, and they've been very, very nice. And until you know, if you look at really what's happening, look at the crowd over there. Look how happy everybody is. They're happy because they want hope. They need hope, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're going to give, much more than hope. We're going to take hope and make it fact.
Mr. President, you actually have worked in McDonald's now.
Now I have worked at McDonald's. I've now worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala. Okay, she never worked here. I've now worked 15 minutes more than Kamala. So worked at McDonald's. I'm going to say why? Because she's lying, Kamala. That's why. Why would she lie? She shouldn't lie about it. McDonald's confirmed 4 times now. She never worked here. But let's not talk about that. It's an amazing business. It's an amazing country. And we're going to make America greater than ever before. We're going to do it. And it's companies like this. Look at the enthusiasm. I mean, that's thousands of people over there. They go miles back. That's incredible. So, look at that. We'll be at the Pittsburgh game tonight, and we look forward to it. And it should be a good game. And yeah, good team. They have a great coach. Pittsburgh, great coach. And we'll see how it is.
I was wondering.
Well, this is a great job to take at the beginning, and it requires expertise. I'm going through the French fry stuff. It's a whole big process, and it requires great expertise actually to do it right and to do it fast. Yeah. Well, I do appreciate it. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, you take it for granted. You say, give me French fries. I'll never forget this experience, okay? Now I know how to do it. It's very good. But you know what? It's beautiful. It's clean. It's really nice. You never touch them. I always figured somebody stuffs them in with their hand, and I don't like that. And they don't do it that way. You never touch them. It's really great. So I want to thank you all for coming out. And we're going to see you soon. We'll see you at the next stop. And then we'll see you later on at the game. I love Pennsylvania. I went to school at the Wharton School at Penn, so I love Pennsylvania. Always have. They have a trunk store.
Yes, sir.
I'd love to go. I don't know if
If Secret Service could work it out, I'd go there. How about that? Could we do it? Can we go to the Trump store? They have a Trump store. People open up Trump stores all over the country, and they're beautiful. It's 2 blocks down, they say. Check it out. Take a look, sir. I do it in 2 seconds. We have Trump stores all over the place. I get nothing out of it. You know what I get? The presidency out of it. That's all I get. Anyway, I love these people. They open up the Trump store. They do great. And that makes me feel good. Thank you all. We're going to take a look at the Trump store. If Secret Service can do it, I'm doing it. I like the idea. We have plenty. I don't know. What do you want? Do you want something when you're there? French fries. I'll tell you what. How about if we gave you some French fries? All right? Are you? That's sort of a bribe, but I think a bribe for a buck is okay, right? I'm going to get you some French fries. Somebody come up here and take them. Let's get them some French fries, okay? These for the fake news. These guys don't get any. They're nice and warm and comfortable, right? All right, good. Give me a couple more. Oh, you're very stingy with that product. Look at that. She's a good worker. You want to have. That's the kind of people you want to have work. She gave them 1 French fry to 30 reporters outside.
Would you like 2 in a bag?
2 in a bag, yeah. 2 in a bag. We'll throw them out the window. You having a good time today? Pretty good, right? Pretty good. Now, a lot of people look forward. They kept saying, when are you going to McDonald's? And I said, let's do it. So and we have the owner. We have a man that's a friend of mine. That's a great guy. How many McDonald's do you own?
I don't know. I just set this up. I'm the health club.
Yeah, but don't they go well? I know you're in the health club. What you do is you eat McDonald's and you go to the health club. It works out actually pretty good. Thank you, Darren. That's cool. Here you go. Go have these. There's plenty of them in there for you, okay? Grab them. You want to move them back? Yeah, here you go.
What do you think for you in Pennsylvania?
I don't know. I'm doing very well. We're leading by quite a bit. She has no fracking. She's never. She's going to have no fracking. It's going to cost Pennsylvania 500,000 jobs, and the revenue's untold.
How do you connect with us?
I think just by being myself. I want to be myself. All I want to do is be myself. They know what they have. We had the best economy ever. We had the strongest borders ever. We had a military that knocked out ISIS in a few weeks as opposed to years, which they were thinking they would take. We beat ISIS in literally record time, very quickly and decisively, and we did a great job. But we had the greatest economy ever. We had the best border ever. Well, I always like to be conciliatory, but sometimes confrontation is important. And as an example, when you negotiate with other countries, and they've been ripping you off for years, because our country's been ripped off for years with other countries and by other countries, even our friends. And we changed a lot of those trade deals, and we're going to change the rest, and we're going to bring jobs back to our country.
Either way, will you accept the results of it?
Yeah, sure. If it's a fair election, always. I would always accept it if it's a fair election. We're leading in all the polls now. We're leading in every swing state. We're doing well. It's, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. In fact, I just had an RCP said we're 93.2% chance of winning. I think that's pretty good. So we'll see. We'll see. Those are pretty good odds. I like that. I'll take that right now. So thank you very much. Who are you with?
I'm Eva. I'm with CBS Philadelphia.
CBS, are they the ones that did 60 Minutes?
Yes.
Are they the ones that changed their answer to make it classic?
I'm not from the network. I'm
It's the same thing.
So, well, we are the same thing, but when some people say that Harris might be more unifying.
Unifying. I think she's the most divisive person I've ever seen. And she lies about her job applications, and she's telling some horrible lies, but she's a very divisive person. And I think it shows up in the polls. I think I'm the one that put everyone together. We had the greatest economy we've ever had. We had the best job numbers ever. We had the best border ever. The Border Patrol, by the way, for those that haven't heard, the Border Patrol a couple of days ago gave us their complete and total endorsement. They said Trump was the best president we've ever had, and they said she was the worst we've ever seen at the border. She did the job she did at the border, and that really breaks our country apart. They allowed so many people into the country, 21 million people, 13 get you to my show. Everything working good? You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job? Thank you, everybody. So we'll see you at the next stop. But I hope you're going to grab that crowd because they say it's about how many TikToks? How many TikToks? TikTok. How many hits do we have on TikTok? 10 billion views, and that's TikTok Jack. Become actually very famous. Yeah, BB called me this morning, and he's obviously got things going well. He will call me on occasion. I think he likes to hear what I have to say. Yesterday morning, and a couple of days before. Well, I can't tell you that. I can't. It would be very inappropriate. But they're certainly in a better position. And fortunately, they didn't listen to Biden and to Harris. You know who Harris is, right? Kamala. They didn't want him to do this, and Israel is much safer now than it would have been if they had to. They did not listen to Biden or Harris. Okay? So we're going to the next step. Well, I think these people work hard. They're great, and I just saw something in process. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see. He's a great franchise. Produce a lot of jobs. That's great. And great people working here too. Really, really good people. So yes, it's Kamala's birthday. He's 60 years old. Yes, I would say happy birthday, Kamala. She's turning 60. I think I'll get her some flowers. Maybe I'll get her some flowers. Give her some McDonald's. I'll get her McDonald's. No, it is her birthday. It is true, right? Happy birthday, Kamala. Happy birthday. See you later. Bye. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. That's a strange place to do a news conference. Wasn't that a strange place to do a news conference? I want to thank you very much for the use of your beautiful store. It's essentially a store. And that's great. So you know about the Trump store down the block? It's nice. Are we going to be able to go there?
It's about 30 minutes down the road.
Oh, 30 minutes. That's not down. That's a long way. We'll pay it our regards. Good job. Thank you very much. How long have you had it?
This location about a year. I've been an operator for 12 weeks.
So this is a good location. Are you going to be able to do it for 10,000 people outside? Or maybe that's a lot of people, right? You got to say that's impressive, isn't it? Very impressive. Thank you all. Who are you with? NBC?
CBS, sir.
CBS. You mean the home of 60 Minutes?
I don't work there.
They did a bad thing. They got caught. They got caught with their hand in the cookie jar, as they say. That wasn't good. 60 Minutes. Don't worry. They won't put this on. Have a good time. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, President. Thank you, President.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you,
How do you
President.
like this stuff?
Hey, come see us on tour. We're going to be in Los Angeles, Columbus, Ohio, Dayton, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Lexington, Kentucky, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Okay, so this is a real headline. From the New Republic, Trump cancels all his events in favor of one of the worst people ever. You mean the most popular talk show host in the world?
Do you have the bits on it?
Yeah. This Trump cancels all his events in favor of one of the worst people in the world. Donald Trump will be sitting down with Joe Rogan. Worst people. Have you guys never heard of Benjamin Netanyahu?
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, surely Rogan isn't as evil as Oprah.
Yeah, not by a mile. This is like Diddy Party people that think he's the worst person.
But what I think of the ancient line of antichrist figures throughout history, of course, there's Genghis Khan, there's Pol Pot, there's Hitler, but they all have to take a knee to the highly successful podcaster out of Austin, Texas.
How do you screw up this bad and then blame the guy who's just doing the thing you could be doing, but you stop doing it because you're a shill?
Hey, New Republic, it's not your job to decide who the worst people in the world are. That's Keith Olbermann's job, and the guy needs work.
Yeah, I want to know where Keith Olbermann stands. I want to see what color of glasses frame he wears while he says it. Then I'll decide.
Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's one of the worst people in the world. What did Joe Rogan ever do?
Well, ever. That's not the world. You're only thinking that's like in history. That's four-dimensional. The world's just, ever in history.
He hosts a popular podcast people like. He was right about
one of the worst.
And he was right about COVID. He beat COVID in like 24 hours. Wow, my God.
Dude, think of how mind-blowing this is. Joe never even made a mistake about what he was saying regarding COVID.
Yes.
At times they said he was mistaken. No, he was right.
He was right.
People that weren't against him that said, no, actually it's this, they were wrong.
That's right.
So how did Joe Rogan, one of the worst people ever, how is he 100% right on every part of COVID, but you're not, the people in charge of that? How does that work?
After backing out of several major interviews at the last minute, Donald Trump has one last major appearance on the horizon, the Joe Rogan Experience. The Republican presidential nominee will be meeting with the former Fear Factor host on Friday. It'll be the first time that Trump has appeared on Rogan's podcast. Wow. Former Fear Factor host. Is that why he's the worst person ever?
I bet it is. Oh, my friends texted me a picture of the girl who wrote, because but I'd already looked it up.
Oh,
I had to see who.
Who's it?
But keep in mind,
Ellie. Oh, it's a woman.
Wait.
Ellie.
Just so people understand, she probably didn't make that headline because I read the article because I wanted to know why he's one of the worst people ever. There's nothing about that in her article.
Oh, I bet you're right. She's not responsible for that headline.
So the editor is the one.
The editor
I learned this
did
a long
that.
time ago on my old podcast because these stupid SJW blogs would come out, like on Jezebel, and I found out, no, the writer doesn't come up with it. The editor
That's
does.
right.
So this is written for a dumb, illiterate shitlib to just read the headline and not read the article. If you read the article, it tells you nothing, as you'll see in these slides.
So, yeah, over the last several months, Trump has made a concerted effort to reach young male voters by signing up for a slew of interviews with podcasters, including Twitch Banny Aiden Roast, the Lex Friedman podcast, 6 Feet Under, hosted by wrestler Mark Calloway, and Theo Vaughn's podcast this past weekend.
Oh, all the lowest class people. By the way, it's Aiden Ross.
Are those
Twitch Banny? So, oh my God, that's like a worse than a Diddy Party. If you were banned from Twitch, I don't even know him, but I know he's up there in the worst people. So this is the thing you were saying about Rodney Dangerfield and oh, he's with the Slobs.
He's with the
That's
Slobs.
what they mean.
Those are all very popular shows. People love those people, so Trump goes and relates to them. It's like Rodney Dangerfield in a movie.
What they think being a good person is never mentioning how big Arnold Palmer's cock is.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be right,
It's funny that still they haven't mentioned one thing that makes Joe Rogan a bad person, except, let's see.
Well, reaching out to young men, I
That's
guess.
it. The only thing they said, he reached out to young men, and I think they said that he supported RFK over Trump.
Oh.
That's it.
Well, that's the worst, one of the worst things ever.
Liberals think Dick and Liz Cheney and Bill Kristol and George Bush are honorable and moral patriots, while Joe Rogan is one of the worst people ever, due to all the wars, torture programs, illegal domestic spying, kidnapping, coups, and mass murder Rogan implemented.
Yeah.
Very funny, Glenn. Well, Rogan did legalize torture during the war on terror, so that's fair.
Remember that?
Remember
I
that?
was like, why is the guy from Fear Factor in charge of that? It didn't make sense.
It didn't make sense. Seattle MAGA extremist says, that's not fair, Glenn. Let's not forget Joe Rogan confessed to using ivermectin.
Oh my God, that's a horse apple dewormer. That's worse than having 1,000 baby oil bottles filled with GHB.
Wow. Wow.
Ivermectin made people go blind, like masturbation. Like, it was a sin. Gunshot victims couldn't get in.
They couldn't gunshot victims were standing in line. You know how you like to stand in line with a gunshot wound?
You know how a hospital would definitely prioritize
ivermectin poisons over gunshots.
Gunshots. That's how it works at all hospitals.
Yeah.
It totally made sense. Rolling Stone was right on top of it. Great job. Worst ever.
It's still amazing that people still repeat that ivermectin line to me on social media, and they're still not upset that they were lied to. People, I had someone in my DMs today defending Fauci. Oh, remember how he helped people out during AIDS? Do you remember the movie The Dallas Buyers Club starring Matthew
How long ago was
McConaughey?
that? What are you, a boomer? I don't remember nothing past a month.
Do you know who the bad guy in the Dallas Buyers Club movie was? It was Dr. Fauci. No matter what propaganda Rolling Stone prints about it, that's the fact.
Hey, Kamala's interview might be still on with Rogan. They're being I got
45 minutes though. She's gonna filibuster.
That's gonna be 20 minutes of Kamala goes a long way. We all can admit that. That's all you need. You don't need more than 20 minutes. You know. But
Thanks for being here. What is that, sir? It's my
I
workout,
bet
my
if I was
buddy.
Joe Rogan, and I'm not.
I did 5 bench
if I
press
was
sets
Joe Rogan, I would probably
for
spend the first 15 minutes trying to get her
bicep curls.
to tell me why she only limited our interview to 45 minutes. Why? What are you afraid of?
He won't do
I
that.
upped the weights. I did and 50-pound curls and 135 on the bench. So I upped it today. Feeling pretty good.
Adam ruins everything. When I watch that, Rogan wasn't aggressive. He wasn't mad. Like, I lose my temper pretty quick when someone says something stupid to me. And he does not, because he's a calm dude, and he's like, it's like jujitsu. So all that would happen is he'll follow any rules they give.
Thank you, my dust. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Goose. Thank you, brother.
Because she's gonna collapse under her own weight, and he's not.
Yeah, dude. It took me.
I've
done what?
Zen talking to people.
10 weightlifting streams, maybe 15 since I'm back from China.
It's not even he's not trying to ruin
So
her anyway.
I'm back. I'm like back up to my weights I was doing before. I'm still at 135. I was at like 165, 185 the bench press. I'm feeling good. I'm like strong again.
But I want to know.
Thanks, buddy.
I want to know
Yeah,
like the things they
it
want
does.
to talk about. That's what.
Thanks,
I want.
man.
You know?
I would love for him to bring
Thanks,
up
brother.
her imprisoning targeting black single moms for prison over truancy of their kids. And the one mom, she actually did screw up, lost her house, lost her job, because her kid had sickle cell anemia.
No, that's no whey protein
that
either.
That would be awesome if you brought that
I haven't had whey
Jokes, I said
protein
that
in
before,
like
to
6
Robin,
months.
Like, if you're talking to Trump's people, they
Wild,
should see
man.
this and promote this.
Thank you, Toad. You're
That's
man, you're
one of the
looking
most
jacked too, brother.
despicable-
You're
I don't-
fucking
If you
vid.
when you see
That's
this
all,
woman's
yeah,
story
buddy.
of what happened to her,
Good.
this
Oh wow,
shell of a
thanks,
woman
Stash. Thanks, everyone.
grandstand with a bad idea,
Man, I really
bad
appreciate
idea
this a lot.
idea.
Thanks, homies.
And then have
Fucking
it struck down.
you guys are
and
jacked
just
too.
hassle
I'm
this
cut.
woman's life, and then make a big show
I'm
of
way
it,
sober I am.
embarrassing her. And the only
Don't
people
plan on
she
taking
embarrassed
none.
were
Oh
black
wow,
single
insane.
mothers. The only- And out of her
Interesting,
way,
brother.
a
I'm eating
woman's
more
got
though.
A girl with a legit
I am eating more.
excuse from school handicap. And what is she costing the school by not going in? $30 a day. I mean,
Okay,
that
let's
just
see who's
sums up
online. We're gonna read someone.
everything
Thank you. I
about
gotta
all
go.
there is right there. You don't
Thanks
need
for being here. I
no
really
else.
appreciate being here.
anything
The one
else?
who yeah, me
Hey, come
too,
see
man.
us on tour. We're
I
gonna
am
be in Los
taking
Angeles,
vitamins
Columbus,
though.
Ohio,
I am
Dayton,
taking vitamins like
Cincinnati,
I
Lexington,
stopped
Kentucky,
taking
Burbank, California,
glucosamine, and this like I had a I don't know if I had a tear before, but this part of my arm started hurting again. Now I'm back on glucosamine, it's feeling better, but I'm also lifting more, but I am like on zinc and magnesium and omega-3s. Who are we gonna read? Probably Kaidos. I don't know what he's doing. FMFing. What is FMFing? Alright. I'm gonna read him. Thank you, bros. Thank you. Thank you. For teaching in China, I did, my friend. I didn't really enjoy the children. I mean, the children were very nice, but they were like, it was a lot of yelling, a lot of young child management. Kitchen badge running in Garby Valley. Oh, no way, dude. No worries, buddy. You can get it. You always improve. Thanks, brothers. Thanks, brothers. You two in a platonic way, my dude. See ya. Bye. Thank you.
I knew there was gonna be a raid, but it still scared me. Okay, I guess. Thanks.